And of course, we've got a lot to talk about, as always, on the program today. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay, I had to do a reboot. Fixing my shoes, guys. Boy, oh boy. All right, we have just a couple of minutes until showtime. Welcome, one and all. Hello there, hello there. Okay. Yeah, we'll be live in a few minutes, and it's open phones today, so any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to start off with. There's so much to cover. Welcome, everyone. Good MAGA Friday morning.
The Palm Beach Kennel Club. The Moneymaker Tour is back in the poker room now through the 25th with over $500,000 in guarantees, 30 trophy events, live streaming, and checkout tournaments for every
Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And yes, we have lots to talk about today. No doubt about that. And we're going to cover a lot. Oh, my goodness. All right, here we go. It's showtime.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty. Welcome, one and all. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. It is Friday. I didn't say that right. It is Friday, February 21st, and that means it's open phones on Friday, open MAGA Mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. But I got a lot of things I want to bring up. We're going to talk about quite a few. There's been some major updates on something that I talked about on my podcast involving Fox News Channel, which I'm going to get to in a few minutes. But there's a lot of other things to cover too. And I'm going to cover as much as we can, including all the great news with Kash Patel and Byron Donalds and a whole bunch more. But I am going to tell you, I did a national television interview yesterday that will air, I think tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you where or who, but some of you will see it. It was a national TV interview. It was pre-recorded. You'll see. It'll be on Newsmax. I'll tell you that. It was on Newsmax. So if you watch Newsmax, you'll see me over the weekend. I think it airs tomorrow or Sunday or both. You won't want to miss it. We talked about Doge and a few other things. And, whenever I do television interviews from my house, and I've done quite a few television interviews. I don't always tell you about them. And I usually wait to see how they come out before I tell people, or I tell people after. But when I do a television interview from home, I always, and now this is just me, and maybe I'm nuts, and maybe I'm petty, but whenever I do a television interview from home, I make sure that what is behind me is a blank wall. A blank wall. Like this interview I did yesterday was one of my living room walls, and the wall wasn't blank, but right before the interview, I took everything down off the wall. And, I've got a studio at home. I've got nice areas at home with things, and I've got things on my wall. But I watch, when I always do, the last one I did, I was, if you watch that one, I was actually sitting at my kitchen table, and it was the wall of my kitchen behind me. Nobody knows, it used to be when you did television interviews, it was a big deal. You had to go to a TV station. If it was a national interview, you'd have to go to the local affiliate, and it was done by satellite and all that stuff. Now, everything's done on Zoom. I could have done it on my cell phone in my car if I wanted, but... and the reason I always have a blank wall, and I'll throw this out to you guys, because once I tell you this, you'll see this in every interview. When I want, everyone works from home now that does broadcasting, that does these interviews. They're always from home. And usually behind them is a bookshelf or a table, and it always has things on it that they want the TV viewers to see. Little toys, and I always tell my wife when I watch these, I call them trinkets of personality that people put behind. Men and women do this. The men are worse. Trinkets of personality that they put on the whatever's behind them. Like there's this one guy that I watch on one of the cable channels, and he has this cheap bookshelf behind him that looks like he bought it Walmart. And he has like the Batmobiles on one of the shelves. Okay, he's in the Batman. I don't know why he would, do that. A lot of times if they've written a book, they'll have a stack of their books behind them so people can see that. Sometimes they just have a bunch of books behind them so people watching think that they're smart and well-read. I have bookshelves with books on them. In my living room, I have a picture I have the picture of President Trump when he got up after that Never Trumpers shot him in Butler and said, fight, 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 that famous picture. I have that photograph framed on the wall of my living room. I don't need that behind me. I have the Time magazine Man of the Year covers with Trump framed on the walls in my hallway in my house and stuff. I don't You know, and I have other stuff on the walls. I take everything down. No trinkets of personality with me, okay? I just think that's kind of strange when people do. Okay, we know you've read a lot of books. You must be smart. Oh, my goodness. I'm almost embarrassed for these people when they do it. But anyway, look for me in front of a blank wall on television over the weekend. All right, so let's get to it. I talked about something last night on my podcast, and then there's been some updates on it. So I'm going to start with this today. I've been saying since Trump came down the escalator, I don't say it as often as I used to because I think most of you, will hear me say it at some point or have heard me say it 10,000 times. I will never criticize Donald Trump, and I will never disagree with Donald Trump. I've been saying this on the air since he came down the escalator. And that doesn't mean that he does a lot of things that I don't agree with, that I don't criticize, that I'm keeping secret. I haven't seen him do or say anything that I would disagree with since he came down the escalator. But I'll never criticize him, nor disagree with him. And now, in the second term, because he has a short 4 years to get more done in that short time than most presidents get done in 8, right? And everything he's doing is really big. He's a lot of big moves are being made by President Trump. And I am of the opinion, and you can call and agree or disagree with me on this. I am of the opinion that President Trump and his entire team, which means his cabinet and entire staff, are above criticism. The only time that they're open to criticism is when he criticizes them or drops them, like not Kash Patel, the other guy that has that color skin. No, I'm just kidding. Who am I thinking of? Vivek Ramaswamy, okay? I was very much critical of Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump had him on the team for 5 minutes. I stopped. Now Trump fired him. It's okay. You know, Tulsi Gabbard's another one. I had a lot of issues with her over the last few years. Now she's on the Trump team. I'm not going to criticize her. They are all above criticism, in my opinion. And there's a lot of fake MAGA out there. You know, there's a good rule of thumb that is a pretty good rule of thumb. Never trust a never Trumper. I say that a lot. Never trust a never Trumper. And, you know, yesterday I was telling you how Glenn Beck really destroyed his empire. I know he's still rich and all that stuff, but he's not as rich and famous as he used to be. And being a never Trumper, he was on the Ted Cruz train and he was active against Trump in that first campaign, was devastating to him, right? I've talked about that a lot. And there were other never Trumpers like Mark Levin, who I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. Mark Levin. That's right. I said it. You know, oh my goodness. You know, please. Like Mark Levin and others who were never Trumpers. And then all of a sudden they're on the Trump train. Okay. And maybe they're on the Trump train when they were never Trumpers because of what happened to Glenn Beck. I don't know. You know, Candace Owens was a never Trumper before she got famous. A lot of people don't know that. Very few people know that. And then she was on the Trump train and was MAGA. And then like a year or two ago, she started trashing President Trump. She gave him some advice and he didn't take it. Well, excuse me, Candace Owens. Go back to bashing Jews and obsessing over the First Lady of France, okay? So never trust a never Trumper. And never Trumpers are like recovering liberals, like recovering alcoholics, like recovering junkies. You know, when someone recovers from an addiction, like alcohol or drugs, every once in a while, some of them sadly will slip and have a few drinks or do a couple bumps, and then they have some problems. Recovered liberals are that way sometimes. A recovered liberal sometimes will fall into that. And every once in a while, these never Trumpers will show their true colors. Ben Shapiro, big never Trumper, would never trust that guy. Mark, at CPAC, haven't you guys been watching CPAC? I was watching it yesterday, and on stage they had the whole Daily Wire team. What a bunch of pathetic, these guys must have no penises, any of them. Michael Knowles, remember I was talking about the trinkets of personality? that these guys have when they're on TV with behind them. Michael Knowles, who has the most effeminate hands I've ever seen on a man, who wants to do these endless sit-downs trying to talk OnlyFans girls off the sex work. And I think it's an excuse for him to hang out with the OnlyFans girls, tell you the truth, Michael Knowles. He's sitting there on stage. They got the whole crew up there, right? They got Ben Shapiro, that weirdo that runs the joint that wears a key around his neck. I don't know the old man. And who's that other guy? I forgot, that did the movie where about being white. And Michael Knowles is sitting there with a cigar like he has all the time. Okay, we know you're a man's man. You got the cigar. I know. I mean, what a bunch of pathetic. But they were never Trumpers. So don't believe any of that stuff. They were never. Ben Shapiro, big never Trumper. In fact, he wrote a column in the first campaign. Why I would never vote for Donald Trump was the headline of the Ben Shapiro column. But so I'm of the opinion that President Trump and his entire staff and team are above criticism and should not be criticized. And two big Fox News personalities went after Trump in the last 48 hours. And there's been a development with that. And after this first break, we'll get into it. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
With Brian, and we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s, right here on the True Oldies channel.
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
Make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia. To City Kia.
The City Kia sell-a-thon is going on right now. Last year, over 5,000 customers made the switch to City Kia, and you can too. Our best offers ever. Lower your payment today. Save up to $15,000 on select new City Kias. Upside down on your trade, 10, 15,000. City Kia to the rescue. At City Kia, we celebrate every customer. And remember, City Kia delivers vehicles anywhere in the USA. This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Visit us at citykia.com.
Make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia.
This is John from White House Medical Center, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. If you have numbness, burning, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance issues, please come see us and let us help you with that problem.
No, I'm going to get into the details about Levin. I'll share with you what Levin did. I'll do him first, and then I'll talk about Jesse.
Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
All right, come back.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All righty, welcome back. Don't forget, Tuesday at 10 a.m., come meet me, along with Attorney Barry Siegel. I'll be with Attorney Barry Siegel. It's his Boca Revocable Living Trust Workshop at 10 a.m. at the Spanish River Library in Boca, 10 a.m. As soon as I get off the air, I'm heading there. You are all invited. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. And if you want to call the Siegel Law Group and let them know you're coming, I would appreciate that, so they know, how many seats and stuff they need, okay? The number's 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Again, it's 10 a.m. Tuesday at the Spanish River Library in Boca. I've never been to that library. I've driven by it a bunch of times, but I've never been in it. But I will on Tuesday at 10 a.m. with you guys. See you there. Okay. So there's a lot of, I'm starting to see, now that Trump has only this one term left, I'm starting to see a lot of fake MAGA and conservatives try to align themselves with other Republicans that they think might be running the show when Trump's term is over. I got news for you. Trump's going to be running MAGA for the rest of his life. So, So, as I was saying, I believe Trump and his team are beyond and above criticism. I won't criticize any of them. They should not be criticized. And anyone who does, you really got to keep your eye on them. And I want to start with Mark Levin. Mark Levin, who was a big never Trumper in the first campaign. He was all in with Cruz. And then he had some awakening. And I used to be a big fan of Mark Levin. I really was. I listened to his show almost every day. It was on at night. And I would listen to it on his podcast the next day. And then when he became a never Trumper in the first campaign, that was it. I haven't listened to his show, I don't think, since. Maybe once or twice, but not for very long. And I think his show on Fox is terminally boring. That's right, I said it. That's his catchphrase. That's what he says. Every time he says something that's supposed to be controversial, that's right, I said it. And I know he's friends with a lot of conservative people and all that. And I know President Trump has said a lot of good things about him. But Mark Levin, this is in the New York Post, which of course is owned by Fox. Fox News' Mark Levin criticizes Trump for attacking Zelenskyy, says MAGA doesn't support Putin. Now I'll go through this article. There's all this talk that President Trump's being too nice with Putin, that Putin started this war. And I would argue that Joe Biden and Zelenskyy started this war. Zelenskyy was pushing to join NATO. He knew that would tick off Putin. And Biden said he could take some of Ukraine. So they gave him they gave him the excuse, and Biden gave him a green light. And they're all upset. They're like, they got this thing. Like, you're not supposed to talk to him because he's, Germany and Japan are still occupied by U.S. forces 80 years later, right? We have bases and a military presence in Japan. There's very strong rules still in place on the size of their military. In Germany, we still have bases in Germany and still occupy them all these years later because they lost the war. And by the way, they both started it. Because Japan and Germany started the war and both lost it, they're still dealing with the fallout of that 80 years later. Russia has not fallen. Germany fell and surrendered. Japan fell and surrendered. This is a small war, a small skirmish, and Russia has not fallen or surrendered. So, they've got this standard of, what do they want, an unconditional surrender from Putin? Are they out of their minds? Or do they, it's very easy for these fancy press people to sit in the press briefing room or some overweight guy in a radio studio like this in front of a microphone say, we can fight till the end. Well, where are you fighting? What are you shooting at other than shooting your mouth off? I love all these warmongers that want to send people off to go to war or others to die in wars. Are they out of their minds? They're sick. They're sick. All right? I'm sorry to tell you. They're like Liz Cheney in the bushes. And then they tell you they support the troops as they're talking from their mansions. Oh, we got to fight till the end. They're not fighting. The only thing they're fighting for is to, get a table at the fancy restaurant. You know, so Russia has not lost. They've not surrendered. It has not fallen. They have an operational government, and you got to deal with them. And if you want to have a peace treaty, you're nice to them. You're not over there attacking the guy, calling him these things. That's not going to end the war. So here's Mark Levin. This is in the New York Post. So it's, it's Fox News, and it's the same company that owns Fox. Fox News host Mark Levin, and a longtime supporter of President Trump, but not an all-time supporter, wasn't always, is breaking with the commander-in-chief over his recent attacks on Zelenskyy. Mark Levin's warning Trump that MAGA doesn't support Putin. Oh, I did not know that Mark Levin spoke for us. I thought President Trump spoke for MAGA, but apparently it's Mark Levin who speaks for MAGA. Speaking on the Mark Levin show, Mark Levin offered rare criticism of the president as he backed Zelenskyy for maintaining order in Ukraine. Levin's segment appeared to be a direct response to Trump's claim that Zelenskyy is a dictator. He is. His term in office, Steve and I were arguing about this on the phone. Steve called me yesterday afternoon and started arguing with me about this. He says, well, the Ukrainian constitution does not allow for elections in wartime, Steve told me. Well, that sounds, what? So what? Oh, okay, that makes it okay. How convenient. Mark Levin's segment appeared to be a direct response to Trump's claim that Zelenskyy is a dictator. When your term of office is over and you declare martial law, you put journalists in jail, including an American journalist who died over there. They've ended freedom of the press. There's no freedom of religion over there. They shut down the Russian Orthodox Church. Did they shut down the Roman Catholic Church in America when we were at war with Italy? In this country? He is a dictator. Sorry, Mark Levin. Let's see here. Mark Levin's segment appeared to be a direct response to Trump's claim that Zelenskyy is a dictator, that the Ukrainian leader is stopping free elections, and only has a very low approval rating. Well, I've heard he has a 4% approval rating. I heard President Trump say he's got a low approval rating. So was he calling Trump a liar? The Fox News host said both of those are false. So he's saying that President Trump's saying things that aren't true? Is he saying Trump's a liar or uninformed and stupid? Mark Levin said this: Zelenskyy ordered martial law. That's what the Constitution there compelled. Oh, well, okay. Who cares about the Ukrainian Constitution? Who cares? Zelenskyy hasn't called for an election. That's what the Constitution there compels, he added. Now I'm waiting for the first free election for Putin. Yeah, that's how you get peace, Mark. I mean, and this is Mark Levin. I'm reading in this New York Post article. These are quotes from Levin. I mean, this is almost in a sick way that Putin is demanding an election, Levin added. Yeah, how dare Putin demand that a guy whose term in office is over have an election? I thought we're fighting for democracy. If their constitution says this, it's not a democracy. What about the freedom of the press he suspended? What about the freedom of religion that doesn't exist in Ukraine now? What are we fighting for other than to make the military-industrial complex money? Why is he demanding an election in Ukraine when he doesn't have free and real elections in his own country? I know why there are people that not only oppose Zelenskyy, but seem to support Putin. Levin also, those are quotes from Levin. Levin also rejected Trump's claim that Zelenskyy is unpopular in Ukraine, noting that the latest polls show his approval ratings at around 57%. Well, what's this story? President Trump said he's got low approval ratings. Who am I supposed to believe, Trump or Levin? Levin fought back the president's suggestion that Kiev is somehow started the war. Ukraine did not invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine, he said. Let me ask you this. Who started Gulf War II? No, not the first one with Bush II, with GW. Who started that war? Was it Was it Saddam Hussein who wouldn't produce the weapons of mass destruction that Bush lied that he had? Or was it us when we invaded? What does that mean? And what, if you're trying to end the war and you're dealing with Putin, what are you supposed to tell him? They didn't start the war. What were they supposed to do? Roll over and play dead? While Levin backed Trump's ability to broker peace, even if it means cutting back on military support, the longtime conservative who worked in the Reagan administration, see, he's an old establishment guy, Levin, warned the president not to let Putin have his way. MAGA doesn't support Putin, Levin said, who I guess is the official spokesperson for MAGA now. 81% of the American people do not trust Putin because 81% of the American people are smart. No, I think we can trust Putin. I guess I'm not smart. We could, you can trust Putin to be Putin, and we know he respects Trump. Zelenskyy lied to President Trump this week and tore up that mineral agreement. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. When we take, we'll take our break, and then we'll be back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Friday morning, a high of 68 degrees, partly sunny and breezy. Tonight it's going to be a low of 66 degrees, mostly cloudy and windy. Saturday morning and throughout the day, a high of 70 degrees, partly sunny and breezy. And partly sunny. Saturday night, a low of 66 degrees, slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy. Sunday, a high of 73 degrees, partly sunny, and a slight chance of showers.
Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Watch for construction on Palmetto Park Road, westbound at Powerline Road, Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard at Mangonia Drive, Northland Boulevard, east of MacArthur Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword Westcom Traffic. I'm Ron Mercy.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the paddock. Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner shows like Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin, March 14th, Meeting and Patrick Putty Warburton, March 20th, the Pure Zeppelin Experience, March 21st, Simply Tina on April 11th, and more. The paddock is also your best bet for great food, super OTB, and sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you hear that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. If you're a homeowner with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984 with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of those roofing and general contractors' licenses. Not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Roofing carries all insurance, including workers' compensation on all of its employees, not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too: residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing, the go-to roofing company you can trust. Brian here. Right now, Mike Lindell at MyPillow is offering his first ever mega sale. With our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, you can save big money on top MyPillow products, the MyPillow sheets, the MyPillow 6-piece towel set, the MyPillow that started it all, and much, much more. And free shipping on all orders. That's right, free shipping on all orders with our promo code KANE at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, we're back. Call us on hold, stand by. Now, it is open phones today, open MAGA Mike Friday. You don't have to call in about anything that I'm talking about today, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to bring stuff up. I just want to add, I was listening to Dr. Appleton during the break and that great message of his. And, tomorrow's Saturday. Walk-ins are welcome. No appointments necessary, even on Saturdays. If you're in pain, give him a call. Stop in. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, say bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times. Thanks to Dr. Appleton. Oh, man. So if you're on hold, hang in there. So that's Mark Levin. And then Jesse Waters pulled a stunt a couple of days ago on the 5. And I'll just play this for you, and then we'll talk about it. Now, full disclosure, I do very much like Jesse Waters' primetime show. It's very good. I do tune into that once or twice every week or two to the first segment to see what he leads with. And he does very good on that show. He talks about the stories that no one else is talking about on Fox News, and he does great work over there. He's covering all the good stuff. I mean, no doubt about it. The 5, well, that's just a bunch of people that look like they're hungover from a couple martini lunches. But I do like his primetime show a lot. Now, personally, I've always had issues with him. The way that he met his wife, that's his former mistress, was, I've talked about this. He said this on the air on the 5. I can't believe he didn't get in trouble for this. His current wife, who was his former mistress, right? He had the hots for her. He went out to the parking lot. This is what he said on the 5. He let the air out of her tires. And then he hid out in the parking lot and waited for her to come out so he could come in and rescue her. That's like crazy. On top of the fact that he was messing around on the mother of his children. I mean, it's just so, he's a man of low moral character. I mean, who's done something like that? Could you, if I did that, if there was some person that worked in this office building, some young girl in her 20s, and you found out that I let the air out of her tires and hung out in the parking lot like a creeper stalker so I could come in for the rescue, so I could get her in my car alone and then get her in bed, what would you think of me? Okay, I mean, that's pretty bad stuff. I can't believe he didn't get in trouble for that. But I do like his primetime show, and I want to tell you guys that. However, let me pull this up. Today's Friday, right? So this was Wednesday on the 5.
Let me tell you a story about Chris. Chris was a guy I met at a shooting event in New Jersey last year.
Is Chris on the interview? Or this is another guy? This is Chris. Is it a male or female? Let me finish. Oh. 55 billion.
I love you. And so he was a 20-year veteran of the U.S. military. He was one of these guys in one of these elite units. Killed a lot of bad guys. Put his life on the line. And now he punched out after 20 years and working for the Pentagon. And he's only been there a few months, so he's probationary. and he just found out he's probably going to get laid off. He's going to get doged. And he texted me and he said, Jesse, you know, this isn't good. I'm upset. This is really sad. And this guy's not a DEI consultant. This guy's not a climate consultant. You know, this guy is a veteran. So when you're talking about doging people, veterans should get priority. Because if you're going to go out there and kill enemies and put your life on the line for this country, you shouldn't be in the same category as people that are doing DEI.
Okay. Yeah, we heard this story. Okay. And did you hear how he told Harold Ford to shut up? He was telling him to shut up on the air. What? That's nice. Okay. Couple things about this. This is what I think happened here. And you guys, I'm not even sure Chris exists. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm almost done. And then you guys can... The show preps up to you guys on Fridays because it's Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind. But I want to get this out in one thing without stopping in the middle because I think this is important. There's a good chance that this Chris character doesn't even exist. You know, when I started the show today and I told you that I've said since Trump came down the escalator, I will never disagree with Trump nor criticize Trump. And people have told me for years, oh, you can't do that. You'll have no credibility. Sometimes it's been on the air. Sometimes it's off the air. You shouldn't do that. People will think you're just a yes man. This was a thing with Michael Savage. So like every other Thursday, Michael Savage would do this show just ripping Trump on the radio. I don't know if it was every other Thursday, just an exaggeration. But every once in a while he'd do a whole... So he could show he's his own man. The Savage Nation bows to no man. You know, so I spent all day Thursday attacking Trump. Okay. You're cool. You're big man on campus. All right. So what I think happened with Jesse Waters here was this. And, you know, listen, I watch and have a different ear than maybe you guys do, you know, because I know people that do this nonsense. And what happens, they get to someone like Jesse, and and somebody gets in his ear, like, you know, Mark Levin's just in with the establishment. Don't let him tell you any different. He was a young man and working for the Reagan administration, so he's connected. And it's okay to be connected, you know, but, you know. It's like Meghan McCain's husband that has a different last name than hers, always on Fox. He never disclosed, I always forget his name, Dominish with some weird name. You know, that fat guy that's boring and says nothing? He's on there because he's Mr. Meghan McCain. Okay, people that are connected, get on. But this is what I think very well may have happened to Jesse Waters. People have gotten into his ear and say, you're too MAGA. You gotta come out against some of this so you sound like you're an independent man. So he felt that he had to go out and criticize Trump. He was criticizing Trump and Doge and Elon Musk. Elon Musk spoke at CPAC yesterday. Did you guys watch it? He was talking about his security detail. And Rob Schmidt from Newsmax interviewed Elon Musk at CPAC. And he has a massive security detail. From who? These leftists. He caught the bank robbers in the bank with the money bags in their hand. And Jesse Waters is coming up with this is like Pat on Saturday Night Live. This androgynous name, Chris. Even Harold Ford didn't believe the story. I think he thought he was making it up because it had this name that could be anything. And I'll tell you another thing. It looked like Elon was wearing a flak vest on stage. Did you notice? That was not that looked like he was wearing a bulletproof vest, a flak vest on stage at CPAC. That's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong, but it looked like that's what he had on under that t-shirt. Jesse Waters has to show that he's the big man on campus, and he doesn't, just like Mark Levin and Michael Savage, I bow to no one. I'm independent in my views. So, and this thing, he said his friend got doged. That was the first time I heard that expression. Have you heard that expression? Maybe you all have and I haven't. But he just coined it. He may not have created it, but because The Five is like the #1 rated show on cable or something, it's hugely rated. Many millions of people watch it. No matter who started it, he's coined a new phrase. Someone got doged. And doged is a negative. like they got steamrolled, fired without cause. Why would he do that to President Trump? Why would he do that? Well, this may be the reason. Newsmax. Fox News heir vows to radically change network. Media mogul Robert Murdoch's desired plan for secession would have left his oldest son in control of Fox News and News Corp. But a recent court filing and family infighting will likely leave his news media empire in control of his left-leaning children, who have vowed to radically change the Fox News network, according to press reports out last week. A Nevada court ruled the 93-year-old billionaire could not change his family trust. I guess he must be mentally incapacitated. After Murdoch sought to give his elder son control of his companies. His oldest son's a Republican. After the ruling in Nevada, all four Murdoch's adult children will retain equal voting power over their father's empire after he dies. The decision will likely mean Fox News, long considered a conservative voice, ultimately embraces a more moderate or liberal voice. Okay, that's Newsmax reporting. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they're sucking up to the kids. Why do you think these people are paid millions of dollars? To keep them in line, to keep control of them. They've all made deals with the different devils. All right, your thoughts on, I hope to hear your thoughts on, my thoughts on these things. But again, it is open phones. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. You're welcome to call in about anything on your mind. You don't have to talk about what I brought up, although I would like to hear your thoughts on it. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. Don't forget, Tuesday, come meet me with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River Library in Boca. And I'll be there at 10 a.m. That's the Spanish River Library in Boca. Attorney Barry Siegel will be there with his staff, and it's his Revocable Living Trust workshop. You're all invited. It is free to attend. I will be there, and I hope to meet you all there. It's 10 a.m. Tuesday, the Spanish River Library in Boca. All right? Okay, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be back.
This is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. We are so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Denson, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com.
Craig? What's being Craig? Entertained with great political commentary, maybe? Yes, that's that. You could call that Craig. But this term that he used, his friend got Doge. That's an awful thing to do. That's gonna catch on.
Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
The Little House of Tarot is a holistic house in Hollywood, Florida. We offer highly effective tools and crystals to manufacture your desires, such as reuniting lovers. We also do angel and tarot readings as well as holistic health, such as help with fertility. Right now, enjoy 50% off of everything by mentioning this ad on Oldies. Call 954-444-6165. We also have locations in Dania Beach and Fort Lauderdale. Experience the difference of a true spiritual friend with Little House of Tarot. That's 954-444-6165.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast.
Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. There are two openings on our board at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Yes, Mike.
You know, you're talking about Fox and which way they're going with their network. I mean, if you're going that way with your network, why would you hire Laura Trump?
On the weekends at night when no one's watching, suck up to Trump. That's why.
And again, that time slot was where Dan Bongino was.
Yeah, that's true. All right, appreciate the call, Mike. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Nick.
Oh, hey, Nick. What's up?
I wanted to, I was going to mention this. I think you just mentioned it, so you stole my thunder, but I just wanted to mention something else with regard to Fox. And it's true, they are going to lean left. It's interesting that after that piece appeared, and I think Ed Henry mentioned it on Newsmax, that all of a sudden these things started happening.
Well, and the Lira Trump show, by the way, was announced before this judge's ruling on who's going to run Fox News when Rupert Murdoch dies. So there's been this ruling just came in, and then all of a sudden, two top Fox personalities are going against Trump. They're sucking up to the kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, they want to keep their jobs. But the thing also is that the danger, you mentioned this a few weeks ago, is that Rupert Murdoch was in there and he bought Tucker Carlson's network.
Murdoch, a couple weeks ago, bought the podcasting syndicator for Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson's podcast. So they're going to... I'm not sure if that sale's concluded yet, but whenever it is, that means Tucker and Megyn Kelly will be working for Fox again.
Yeah, well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, it depends on what kind of contracts and deals they have.
That's true too. But I also wanted to mention one other thing before I go. Fox News is also greedy in the sense I was going to subscribe to Fox Nation thinking that I would get, Fox News in addition to that. No, you don't. It gives you little pieces of it, but you have to subscribe to another because we just have the internet here. So I do subscribe to Newsmax, and I have it on the internet radio and all of that. My Fox is on Sirius XM. So my point is that, Newsmax is more accessible. Fox is purposely not making itself accessible. Well, I don't need it anyway, knowing that.
Yeah, but they got the part of the reason that they're number one in cable news. They don't need to get. They feel they don't need that. They're doing the online thing just to be doing it. I don't know, but Newsmax is hungrier than Fox. Fox is arrogant.
Newsmax is going to beat them.
I don't know. I don't know if they can with their reach because they're never going to be on as many cable systems.
Well, I just think they're more accessible, and I think they're a better news service. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, listen. And full disclosure, this is why I mentioned at the top of the hour. I was interviewed on a Newsmax show that's going to air over the weekend this weekend. So I don't want you guys to think I'm trashing Fox because Newsmax had me on. I'd be doing this anyway. It had nothing to do with it. But you noticed it was Rob Schmidt from Newsmax that was there with Elon Musk interviewing him at CPAC yesterday.
Right. But I'm trashing Fox, so I'll take the brunt of that.
No, I'm fine. I mean, the thing that makes me upset with Fox is, I give you an example. Okay, Tom Hanks and this anger he has towards MAGA people. Okay, and a lot of people, a lot of MAGA people say things about Tom Hanks. You can't expect him to like us, but what he did on Saturday Night Live was way over the line. And Megyn Kelly was talking about Tom Hanks, and she said this. He hates the people that made him a millionaire. The people he hates are the ones that went and saw Forrest Gump. We didn't go see Philadelphia, okay? No, that movie. But we went and saw Forrest Gump, and we saw Castaway and all that stuff. The people that made him rich, okay, are the people that he hates. Well, there's a similar thing with the Fox ownership. Okay, the Fox ownership, they were made number one by the people they want to hate, that they really hate, and that's MAGA people. I'm not talking about the on-air people. I'm talking about the kids that are going to be running the joint.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. You're right. You're right on point with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't trust them. They turn on a dime. I never trusted them, including Laura Ingraham, by the way. She can turn on a dime.
Laura Ingraham, listen, you know, she's very good, you know, but she's part of the old Washington class. She, back in the early Clinton years when she was starting out, with Kellyanne Conway's weirdo husband, okay? Was a friend of hers back then. And Matt Drudge and all of them. So they had she was part of a circle with Drudge and Kellyanne Conway's weirdo husband and Ann Coulter and that crew. And those are a bunch of never-Trumpers.
Exactly. Thanks a lot, and have a great weekend.
All right, take care, Nick. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell you guys about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. You know, this doorbell camera offer is awesome. I mean, you know, you can get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone. You get a notification no matter where you are in the world when there's movement at your door. You could be in the bathroom, you could be on the back porch, or you could be in Paris. Okay, it doesn't matter. You get a notification and you can see who's there. It's absolutely amazing. And you can get a doorbell camera for free with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. They're going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call right now, no matter where you're located. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
First of all, water's okay. Yeah, we're going to Doge everybody. He backed Twitter. When he bought Twitter, they said he couldn't run it on his skeleton crew. He fired almost everybody. That's what people do when they have business, when they're going to do. It's easier to fire everybody and rehire what you need than to nitpick and cherry pick everything. So he's doing the right thing. His friend, if he's good and they need him to hire him back, that's what's going to happen. As for Mark Levin, if you go on YouTube, and look at Russia, downtown Moscow, you would think you're in New York City. They got department stores, they're shopping, they got goods, it's everything. So the bottom line is there's freedom in Russia as long as you don't get into the politics. And Zelenskyy, you get into politics, what do? You get shut down, like churches and everything else. So, Mark, look, this is going to happen for the next 4 years. You're going to see people criticizing Trump, and I don't buy any of it. I'm like you.
No, I don't. No, I mean, there's a bigger picture here, and I know Mark Levin would be pissed. He could, you know, he lives down here. He could hear this, you know. The reason that Mark Levin found us is his parents listened to us. His parents lived here when he lived up north, and his parents listened and called the show. Okay, and that's how he ended up on the show. Like, if you remember, we were talking about him, and he called me. And he says, I heard you were talking about me. I want to go. It's because his parents were listening and called him. That's how he, so he, but he lives down here now. And, I'm sorry. I don't talk about him too much because I don't listen to him that much. I don't watch his TV show because it's boring. It's Joyce Kaufman boring. At least Joyce's show is so boring, it's entertaining. It's like, how bad will it get? Let me tune in. But it's boring and it's preachy. And that's right, I said it, that thing he does. And when he did that interview during the campaign with Ron DeSantis, which was a half hour of sucking up to Ron DeSantis, who betrayed Donald Trump, someone called in and told me about that interview. So I listened to the whole thing after the show on my drive home. I was disgusted at the way he was talking. It was like a paid infomercial, and Ron DeSantis had betrayed President Trump. He didn't even bring it up. Of course, when have you ever been stopped from saying something?
Well, I want to flip into something that I really called you about, because this was the more, not that it's more important, but I think it is. What happened in Israel over the last 24 hours, And I just got an alert on my phone that President Trump is so furious over what happened with those bodies that he says, I want every building in Gaza leveled.
Yeah.
What they have done, this, and people to the sea and all this crap marching in this country, if anyone sees what that little babies, I've seen films of their little babies and videos, with the kid's first smile, a little baby, what they did to these two babies, and then the mother, they locked the caskets, and then let.
Well, the woman they're saying was not the mother now, but she was still a Jew that they murdered. I mean, this whole thing. The reason I haven't brought that up, it's very important, but it's just so god awful. I can't. I'm avoiding the topic.
Blowing up buses last night.
Yes.
5 buses, bombs, and.
Here is the deal. The Islamic world is medieval. They're not a modern civilization. They are not they're savage, okay? And they're like, the Nazis were more organized. They're not to say something nice about the Nazis, but no, they're like the hordes from Europe that overran the Roman Empire. They're uncivilized savages, and that's it. I mean, that's it. There's no anything. There's no civilization there.
But to lock the caskets, they lock the caskets. Then they blow up the buses. They said we're going to only release 3 people last night. Israel's got to act, man. They just cannot sit back and watch this crap.
Well, the reason they I got to run for the top, but the reason they did that, my guess would be, is they're trying to have Israel respond massively. All right, appreciate the call. They're trying to start World War III there with that. I mean, that was what happened to never forget. Haven't heard anybody say never forget during this whole attack on Israel. Okay, 1 hour down, 2 to go. Calls on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Palm Beach on 95.9 FM and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Friday morning, a high of 68 degrees, partly sunny and breezy. Tonight it's going to be a low of 66 degrees, mostly cloudy and windy. Saturday morning and throughout the day, a high of 70 degrees, partly sunny and breezy, and then partly sunny. Saturday night, a low of 66 degrees, slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy. Sunday, a high of 73 degrees, partly sunny, then slight chance of showers, and then Sunday night, chance of showers with a low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
We have a crash reported on the northbound turnpike at the West Palm Beach Service Plaza. There's construction Hypoluxo Road at Congress Avenue. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. The Moneymaker Tour is back in the poker room now through the 25th with over $500,000 in guarantees, 30 trophy events, live streaming, and checkout tournaments for every type of poker player, including the Moneymaker.
We'll be back shortly.
$300,000 guarantee. Feel the love this month with super
You're on hold, hang in there.
every day, every 20 minutes, and a chance to win $10,000 in cash. For more information, go to our website at pbkennelclub.com.
Hi, it's Brian Craig. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on retiring in the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, at any point in your life? Or are you already retired? Listen, economically, it's a mess with the stock market ups and downs and inflation out of control. In fact, it's the highest inflation rate in 40 years. You need a plan of action for your retirement plans. You need the advice of a retirement expert who can help you protect your money, guarantee your income, and stop losing money.
Hey,
Joe
Mike.
Thomas is president of Retirement
Mike.
Network Advisors, South Florida's premier retirement experts, and has been for over 20 years. He's seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family-owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You can join Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade. You need Brian Craig and receive a free copy of his ebook. Go to Jupiter
Oh, I was going to get Barry has to call in now, so I'm calling him.
0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free.
Hey, it's Brian. I just got your text. Would now work? Yeah, let me put you on hold. We'll be back in about a minute. Okay, hold on.
This is John from My House Medical Center. We're able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy.
Yeah, just yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Please come see us. Let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through My House Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
On the air since 1977. It's the
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian, it's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. We're going to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group, who I'm going to be with on Tuesday at 10 o'clock at the Spanish River Library. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Great. What do you have for us today?
Well, we all have different parts of our financial lives that are very important to deal with. We need to make sure that we have the right financial plan, the right tax plan, the right risk mitigation plan, meaning insurance plan, and of course the right estate plan. And the thing is, with a lot of these things, we don't get around to this where we just wake up one day and like, hey, I need a financial plan. Hey, I need an estate plan. Usually it's either somebody who refers us, who says, hey, you really need to do this. It's usually one of the other types of advisors. So for estate planning, it might be a life insurance agent, or a financial advisor, or a CPA, etc. But the other thing is, there could be an opportunity where, for example, there would be a living trust workshop where you can have the opportunity to get a free education and learn what you need to know to protect yourself and your family and get the peace of mind that you need. And that's exactly what you were talking about before. We are doing our next workshops next week. We have one at Spanish River Library next Tuesday, as you mentioned, and you will be there, and we're excited about that. It's our first one at that location. It's at 10 a.m. that morning. And then just 2 days later, on Thursday of next week, we're also doing one. I believe that's the 27th at 10 a.m. at the Hyatt Place in downtown West Palm Beach. So if you want to attend and get that free information, free education, so you'll be on the right track to make some good decisions for you and your family, we would love for you to attend.
Yeah, and the workshop I want to be at with attorney Barry Siegel and basically pretty much your whole law firm comes to these things. You have your staff there with you. Is at the Spanish River Library in Boca, Tuesday at 10 a.m. As soon as I get off the air, I'm heading right there. And remember, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard attorney Barry Siegel on the program, give him a call, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week. Okay, you too. We are back, and let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, yes, Brian. Nice to talk to you.
Yes.
I have 100% conservative values, and I hate Fox News. Mark Levin, John Hannity, they are meant to be somewhat repugnant. And the real purpose of Fox News, you ask, for people to think there is diversity in mainstream media, and for people to hate the messenger, thus hate the message. It makes sense. If people hate the messenger, people automatically hate the message. And that's the purpose of Fox News.
Let me give you an example. You know, yeah, I agree with you. You know, the thing with Trump, see, this is not a normal presidency. You know, the way I describe Trump all the time is he's a civil rights leader. and he's leading all of the American people to freedom from tyranny look at all this money they take it. And, he's a Martin Luther King-like figure. And, I don't know. I mean, Martin Luther King was killed in very strange circumstances we never got the real answers to 3 years before I was born. But I'm sure there were things that he said and did that some people in the civil rights movement didn't approve of. But because his overall goal was so just and he was so loved by so many, you ignore those things to accomplish that goal of ending the Democrat segregation and Jim Crow. And that's the same thing with Trump. You guys, this is not George W. Bush or even Ronald Reagan. There's a bigger picture here other than this Monday morning quarterbacking of the daily politics. All right, and he and his team are above criticism, in my opinion. If you criticize them, you're not MAGA.
Something else they do is they put on any given topic, you notice that they put a little piece of whatever the best defense of the liberal is, and then they do not go ahead and explain why it's wrong. They just put it there and as if they're criticizing it, but in reality they're putting the best defense on any given topic of the left.
Yeah.
They don't bother to explain it. They do a lot of stuff that really, over the years, I realized, hey, wait a second, these people are not on my side. Of course, they disguise themselves as libertarians, and of course they have some decoys, they have some people that are for real. But, bottom line, I really have made it a point not to watch Fox News anymore.
No, I watch everything except MSNBC. I watch and follow everything. I read liberal things and conservative things. I want to know all the viewpoints, but I don't appreciate what Mark Levin and Jesse Waters did. In particular, Jesse Waters coming up with this term Doge, as if somebody loses their job in these government cuts, something's been done wrong to them. I don't appreciate that. And so far, I love veterans, but just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you're immune. You go to the post office, the nastiest people you ever met work at the post office, and they're almost always veterans, and they just don't care. Just because someone's a veteran doesn't mean that they have the keys to the city.
Yes. Okay.
All right, we're losing the connection, but I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You made some good points. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Cynthia Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just give a quick history. So the guy that just spoke, absolutely right. Let me give you the history. The Fox News hated the Tea Party. We once had Jenny Beth Martin was going on Fox News. You know what she did? You know what Laura Ingraham did? Well, you're a nobody, that's what she said.
What?
Sure.
You're a nobody? A nobody? Who was this she said that to?
To Jenny Beth Martin, leader of the Tea Party organization.
She said you're a nobody?
You're a nobody. But let me explain why. Because what we wanted was, limited government. We were all into what Doge is doing right now. And by the way, Trump courted us. He went to the Tea Party convention in 2015 or 14, whenever it was. So this is something that we've been working on for a long time. The thing that changed, we're now MAGA. We're populist now, which is very much like where we were. As far as Mark Levin is concerned, he lives here locally. He's never done one thing, and I've contacted him to help us get anybody elected. He is a neocon. That's exactly who he is. And let's really get frank about this. Who sits on the board of Fox and Frauds? Let me see. Oh, that's Paul Ryan, who never did the job, who worked for Jack Kemp, then became the speaker, prevented us from having a wall, who came out of John Boehner, which is McCarthy. Need I say more?
Yeah.
Why did Murdoch be in the same room as Trump when Trump announced was giving a speech about 2 weeks ago?
He had Murdoch in the Oval Office with him. He had him in the Oval Office live. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did he say? What did he say? I have a lot of whatever respect or whatever the hell it was. I thought, we all know why you're doing it. I turned off that TV, I have to tell you, in 2016. I don't watch those people. They make me sick. Because we are here because of them. And they did the same thing to everybody else. You go back in history, I just put a quote of Pat Buchanan, who they ruined, who tried on CNN. But His phrase was America first. Not every policy is great that he put forth, but a lot of it is what Trump is.
Yeah, and they've been very, and sadly, the forces against Pat Buchanan were successful in labeling him a Nazi, which he never was. He worked for President Nixon. I mean, come on.
Come on. And so the point of the matter is, if everybody, take a look at Russell Kirk, the father of conservatism. He went into the White House with Ronald Reagan, and then what happened? George H. Bush removed all those people that were around Reagan. That's what we got. That's what happened to Trump with Mike Pence. Who did Trump go to? He went to Reince Priebus.
Yeah, that's right.
To Reince Priebus, who was the head of the RPO, who was the head of the Florida, not the Florida Republican Party, the GOP, and said, who should I get? Oh, get Mike Pence. He's been around. He never had a real job. He never had a real job.
Well, you know what's happening, but don't lose your thought. But what's happening is the neocon Republican establishment are regrouping, and they've told themselves this: Trump's going to be gone in 4 years. We're going to be back. So what a lot of these establishment neocons are doing is they're sucking up to the establishment Republicans because they think they're going to be back in charge when Trump leaves after this term. So there's a lot of that going on. They're treating Trump like a lame duck. That's why they're doing this.
Absolutely. So this is the Florida alert. The Florida Republican Party has removed the Manatee REC because they were too MAGA. Yesterday I spoke to Michelle, who works with Renew America, which is Russ Voigt, who's the budget guy that got appointed from Trump. And there's another one where they actually came and removed the people from an REC meeting. They're going after 2 REC clubs. Why? They're too MAGA. So I just want to warn you, the Republican Party of Florida are no good.
No, it's a Bush. The people don't understand because the president lives here, but the Bush Republicans run the Florida Republican Party, and I'm very interested to see what happens. President Trump endorsed Byron Donalds for. Didn't I not tell you guys 2 years ago Byron Donalds was going to run for governor? President Trump endorsed Byron Donalds yesterday for governor of Florida. I'm curious to see how the Republican Party of Florida handles that.
Okay, so here's the deal with Byron. Byron ran when we had the first Tea Party. He tried to run for a state seat. He didn't win. He ran twice. Then he finally, literally, we were in Martin County. He was all the way over in Naples. We went over there and walked for him and talked for him and really tried. He's a great guy. I believe in him. I think he's a good conservative. And he's stuck with Trump. All right? Absolutely. But they will try to destroy him because who sits in the governor mansion?
Yeah.
Wiles got fired by DeSantis.
That's right.
But DeSantis has Bush people. Jeb Bush staffers are still there. And by the way, just so everybody hears this, your staffers on the federal level that are working in these guys' offices, they need to go. They're moved around. They're the ones that write the policy. Oh, Mitch McConnell's going to be gone, and Thomas Matthews out there thinking about running.
Yeah, and remember, the Republicans that run Tallahassee are the Republicans that changed the state law so DeSantis could run against Trump and stay governor. And this talk of Casey DeSantis wanting to be governor is not a joke. They're delusional. She's delusional. She really thought that. All right, I got to run, but you made some good points. I'll give you the last word. All right.
Thank you so much. You're doing a great job. And everybody on this who's listening, just do your little history. Do it yourself. I'm just one person.
All right, take care. All right. We'll take our first break of the second hour and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s, right here on the True Oldies channel.
This Kia statewide sales event will be held only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
$90,000 to $3,000 amounts. Right now you're buying physical gold at a high. Consider buying gold stocks. They're still at extreme lows comparatively. Listen to the Ellis Margin Report in Money Talk Radio weekdays 9:20 a.m. on the True Oldies channel.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the podcast 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 100. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Now, don't forget the My Pillow special for the mega sale with free shipping continues. Huge savings site-wide on some of the most popular My Pillow products with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and also free shipping on all orders with our promo code Kane at checkout as well. It's a good time to load up. The My Pillow mattress toppers, huge savings on those. I've been sleeping on my My Pillow mattress topper for years. It will change the way you sleep. If you think you've gotten a good night's sleep, you haven't until you have the My Pillow mattress topper. I have the 3-inch My Pillow mattress topper. It turns your entire bed into a big My Pillow. It's total serenity. It's like you're sleeping on a cloud. It's amazing. It's promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, huge savings and free shipping. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right. Now remember, it is open phones on Friday, open MAGA Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You are not limited to the topics that we bring up on the show. The number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to play this clip, though. I meant to play this in the last hour. We were talking about Ukraine, but this is Rand Paul yesterday.
$4.8 million spent in Ukraine for social media influencers. While you're at it, but the people who vote for this, I've voted against all of this, but the members of the Senate who voted for this spent several $100,000 sending designers in Ukraine to the fashion show in Paris.
Oh, that's nice. How much to the influencers? Hold on, how much was that?
$4.8 million spent in Ukraine for social media influencers.
Oh my goodness. So just under $5 million for social media influence. I wonder if that guy Pavlo from Ukraine that I'm always talking about got some of that $4.8 million. Because I told you, Pavlo from Ukraine, he's a YouTuber in Ukraine, and he's a vlogger, and he's been there through this whole war. I haven't seen any war, and he does house renovations and stuff. And I'm starting to wonder, is that how he's able to afford these home renovations and everything? Is he getting some of that money? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That's completely insane. Okay, so yesterday we got Kash Patel confirmed. Okay, so he's already changed his Twitter to FBI Director Kash Patel, if you follow him on X. And this is the big one. Now, maybe you disagree with me on this, maybe you don't, but I believe that Kash Patel, out of all of Trump's picks, all of his nominees, this is the biggest one. Really, bigger than Pam Bondi, bigger than Pete Hegseth, bigger than anyone. And that's the director of the FBI. Because over the last 4 years, the biggest problem we've had is the FBI, the Lawfare. It's all done through them. And Kash Patel has spent the last 4 years doing a whole bunch of interviews, telling us all kinds of things that should be done to the FBI. Now he's the big man on the FBI campus. I want to throw this out to you guys. What do you think Kash Patel will do first? What do you think Kash Patel will do first? Is he going to do? Because Pam Bondi, she fired those attorneys, and which was a big deal. Firing all those Biden U.S. attorneys is a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. But she hasn't had a partner. Now she's got a partner in Kash Patel, and I know they're good friends. So what I'm hoping he does is some high profile, I'd like to see either a very high profile arrest or a series of very high profile investigations where he goes to someone and his team go to multiple people. I want to see Fannie Willis brought in for questioning. I want to see Letitia investigated and brought in for questioning. I want to see Judge Mershon and his daughter, who raised $100 million for the Democrat. I want to see them brought in for questioning. I want to see all of this. I mean, really do it. And this isn't like some court where Fannie could say, well, I'm not showing up. My daddy was in the Black Panthers and we got a lot of pull here. These are federal agents. And there was a lot of lawfare going on and a lot of guilt. I want to see Kash Patel and the agents in charge of these things have very high-profile, regular press conferences updating us on what's going on. Okay? I want to see real information and investigations on both Trump assassinations attempts, the one at the golf course and the one in Butler. I want to see the body cam footage of the FBI agents that broke into Mar-a-Lago with a safecracker and went through Melania's room and broke into the president's safe and tossed his desk on the floor. I want to see all this stuff on TV and online. And Kash Patel, out of everyone, and I told you guys, first day he was going to get confirmed. Trump got everyone in. Matt Gaetz doesn't count. He got everyone he picked in. Everyone he wanted got the job. I don't think he wanted Matt Gaetz. I think it went just like he wanted it to go. I think he put Matt Gaetz up as a sacrifice pick so that they threw everything against Matt Gaetz, and then he got Bondi and everybody else he wanted. He got everybody he wanted in place. But Kash Patel has been making a lot of promises. So he's got a lot of promises to keep. He said he wanted to shut down the Washington office of the FBI and turn it into a museum. So he's made us a lot of promises, and now he's got the job. So let's see what he does. But what I'd like to hear from you guys is what do you, not what you want him or wish for him to do first, what do you think Kash Patel will do as the FBI director? Because there's been a lot of crime going on. In fact, you know, almost all of this, the FBI has been working as a secret government for 50, 60 years. Okay, this is not something that just happened with Trump. Everybody else they just had control of. So there's a lot to expose here. All right, it is. I'm going to take this break on time because I went long in that first segment. So if you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is open phones on Friday, open Mega Mike Friday. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this time, rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
Still playing in Maine. Men are still playing.
Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation.
I'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah.
I just do one commercial, and so it's gonna be a quick
Okay.
minute, and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, got confirmed by Mike that to finish the show a minute early for the Joe spots. I'll start Monday.
Okay. Do you hear that noise? Is that outside, or is that truck outside, or is that a fan? Do you come in here and see if you hear it? Is that outside?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that truck. They're cutting down trees.
Gotcha. That sounds like a helicopter.
I thought maybe a fan came on.
A little bit of sound.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, 32 minutes after the hour. It is Friday already. This week has flown by. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know what I really can't stand? Well, there's a lot of things I really can't stand, but one of the things I really can't stand is when I see an American elected official with that Ukraine flag. Anyone that's got the Ukraine flag on immediately, I'm like, what's that about? Who are they? What are they? You know, that's crazy to me. And there's a story that dropped early this morning. Apparently, the Ukrainians have had the Ukrainian and the American flag on their uniforms since we're paying for it all, you know. That's kind of like, it's like it's a sponsorship deal, right? They're like, like the NASCAR. You guys watch the Daytona 500? They got all that thing, they got the American flag because we're paying for everything. This Ukrainian soldier made a video that's gone viral. It's all in Ukrainian, so I'm not going to play it for you because I don't know what he's saying, But he ripped the American flag off his helmet in protest of Donald Trump. What the hell? Really? And what's Zelenskyy doing about that? You know what he's doing? Nothing. Because now we're his enemy. Because we're cutting him off. This is insane to me. You know, you look at the way that we're being treated right now by Zelenskyy, by his army. Look at it, you know, there was even a general who was attacking Trump the other day. A Ukrainian general was dropped another video attacking Trump that went viral online yesterday. I've never seen such a group of entitled people. They're like welfare kings and queens over there. I've never seen such a disrespect for the United States. You know, I mean, to rip our flag off the helmet that we're paying for. If it were not for the United States, we shouldn't have been doing it, but we do. But if it were not for the United States giving them all of our tax money, Ukraine would be Russia right now, right? And they're disrespecting us that way because we're trying to end the war with a peace treaty? And the level of disrespect that is taking place, him ripping off that flag is, I've never seen such a thing. Never seen such a thing. And we're still supposed to help him? He called President Trump a Putin puppet, Zelenskyy, day before yesterday. Zelenskyy lied to President Trump about that deal with the minerals, and now his soldiers are ripping our flags apart and off their helmets that we're paying for? No, they're pretty sick. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Ben. All right.
Hey. So, yeah, well, I was going to talk to you about what you're saying with the FBI, but a real important remark to make about what you just said with the Ukrainian, you know, them spitting in our face after all we've done. What does Zelenskyy have to say about that American journalist Lira, who he allowed to die in one of his political prison jails because he spoke out against the war? He killed an American citizen, and Biden let it happen. His name is Gonzalo Lira.
Yeah, and and Glenn, yeah, and you know, when that Khashoggi journalist was killed by the Saudis, the media talked about it for like a year. The media haven't even mentioned this once.
Oh my God! Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Like the Reuters journalist.
He wrote for the Washington Post, and he was critical of the royal family, and he walks into the Afghan embassy. What did he think was going to happen to him? We walking into the
Yeah. So I want to hear it. You know, I want to hear it. Ukraine has been the most, by every metric, by every NGO that measures corruption. Ukraine has been the first or second most corrupt nation in all of Europe. And so therefore, you're one of the most corrupt nations in the world. And they just want us to hand them blank checks.
Well, you know what it's like. I mean, what we're seeing are what gangsters they are in Ukraine. The way they're acting and what they're saying. They're thugs, and what they're saying is this. It's like you see when you get robbed by some thug. Give me my money. Give me my money with the gun point, and that's what they're saying. They think our money belongs to them, and we should continue to support them.
And you know what? There's not even like defined objectives. It's like if there was maybe like, okay, we'll do this. At least Israel has like defined objectives. But with Ukraine, it's just like we're gonna fight until what did Biden say? Until the job is done. What job? When will it be done? And to be honest, I just don't trust them anymore. What results have we seen giving them all this money other than paying for their bureaucrats and Zelensky's homes and yachts in Miami? I really don't care anymore. Europe needs to step up. We've done our part, and to be honest, if they're gonna spit in our face and they're gonna kill our journalists, and you know what, they can pound sand.
And this thing about Europe, I was talking about this yesterday. Europe, they keep saying, well, it's going to be Poland, then it'll be this. First off, Europe is an Islamic state now. All of Europe. You think nobody wants Europe? You think Putin? Yeah, you think Putin wants that? Yeah, the caliphate of Europe? I don't think so. Nobody wants Europe. You're not important. You're not players anymore. Maybe you were 500 years ago, but nobody wants you now. This isn't this.
And J.D. Vance coming out to the Munich Security Council, calling them out for going straight Stasi. It's mind-blowing seeing German police showing up at people's doors at 6 in the morning, taking their phones, taking their laptops, waking up their family, all because they put...
Yeah, it's 1933 all over again.
Wrap my head around it. It's the most.
So what do you think Kash is going to do? He's been making a lot of promises the last 4 years, so he's got to deliver.
We just saw a top prosecutor at the DOJ send letters to both Chuck Schumer and I think this other guy named Garcia who said, oh, this is a bar fight that we need to bring weapons to, and it was like a threat to Elon Musk. He sent a letter, and they're going after, like he's like, I'm demanding these more clarification on these comments. I think, based off the fact that they're suing New York State for a sanctuary city, if this pace keeps going, my guess is with Kash Patel, he's going to deliver. I really think he's been beating this drum for 2 years. He is so anti-FBI corruption, and what it's turned into is
And Pam Bondi, who's technically his boss, has been doing a lot. You know, she's gotten rid of all those attorneys. She just got rid of the chief counsel for the ATF yesterday. You know, so she's been clearing the way for him. So the two of them, I think she's been waiting for him to go after these lawfare people. But he's made a lot of bold claims the last 4 years. He really needs to do something high profile soon.
Well, let's look at it this way. Is there anything they've done that we're unhappy about? Like, have they not?
Oh no. Or no? Well, this is the thing. This is the one that I think we've all been waiting for, is Kash Patel's confirmation. The biggest one. Yeah.
Listen, we got the best possible guy in. Out of all of them, I thought Kash was going to be the one that stunk because he's the most threatening to the administrative deep state. So you know what? Hey, I think let's sit back and pop some popcorn because I have faith in Kash. He's a man. He really seems like he's there, has strong conviction towards his beliefs.
Well, if you were to write a book about all these Trump people, his cabinet, Elon, Kash, the title would be The Disruptors. They're all disruptors, turning everything upside down. You know, and
this is like a second American Renaissance. They're just bringing us back to what we were supposed to be, but we haven't done anything for decades because we've been mired in corruption and deep state shenanigans. So for the first, people are always freaking out. Oh, he's firing this many people.
Yes.
We should never have had these many people to begin with. It's been like this for decades, and no one's done anything. So it's shocking because it's disrupting, like you said, the norm, the status quo. But the status quo was always.
Well, see, the federal employees are unionized. So because they're unionized, the federal workers, they're a strong voting bloc for the Democrats. They're like the trial lawyers, and they've had so the federal workers have been untouchable because of that union. No one has. The only firing we've ever seen was with Reagan with the air traffic controllers, but that was like 40 years ago.
Long march through the institutions. 93% of D.C. residents voted for Kamala. All right, Kamala, the worst candidate in presidential history. So that tells you everything you need to know. They've worked tirelessly to entrench their commies, especially starting with Obama, into the administrative state. So no matter who comes, who goes, they're.
And then I don't know. I mentioned this. Did you see Elon at CPAC speaking? I don't know if anybody. It looked to me he was talking. Rob Schmidt brought it up during the interview, so we talked about it. He has a massive presidential-sized security detail, Elon now, because of Doge. And it looked to me like he was wearing a bulletproof vest under that T-shirt. If you look at the bottom by his waist, that was not a belly. That looked like a vest.
Yeah, like punched out. I hear what you're saying. You know what? I mean, yeah, well.
Who's he being protected from? These kind federal workers. This veteran that Jesse Waters was whining about.
The same people who shot up the Republican baseball game, the same people who went after
exactly.
People who tried to kill Trump, the same people who tried to kill him again on the golf course. Leftists are, by their nature, unhinged, violent, radical.
Yeah, they're mental patients. And the thing about it is, this is the thing. After the president himself, Kash Patel is the one I've been waiting for. Like no one's. All the others, Pete Hegseth. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they're boring compared to what we want from Kash. They really are.
Action. No, I know. I mean, I was really excited about Robert Kennedy. I know he's a Democrat, but what he was going to do in regards to the areas he was talking about was completely upended. But as far as Kash goes, this is going to be fireworks. I mean, this is like I said, the big daddy of them all. When you want to talk about the deep state and us being stymied because there has always been like a problem with us trying to implement an agenda, and what did Chuck Schumer say? Oh, the intelligence community.
Listen, Kash Patel likely is ahead of the agency that killed President Kennedy, right? So I mean, this is it, and believe me, all the presidents, most of them wanted to do this, but they didn't have the juice. All right, got to run. Thanks for the call. Great points. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to remind everybody, Tuesday at 10 a.m., come meet me with Attorney Barry Siegel and his team at the Spanish River Library in Boca. I will be there at 10 a.m., and you are all invited, and I hope to see you there. It is Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., the Spanish River Library in Boca. Attorney Barry Siegel will be giving his Revocable Living Trust workshop. I'll be there with you to meet and greet, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. That's Tuesday at 10 a.m. at the Spanish River Library in Boca. And if you want to call Barry Siegel's office to find out details and all of that, give him a call, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Brian Crick here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I do any lab test now with Paulette and any lab test now with Coral Springs for all of my lab. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes always. I get the results the next day in my email box. They also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nows around. These are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandyfield Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is at the southeast corner of University and Bramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast.
Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Alrighty, welcome back, one and all callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right. Oh, by the way, just to mention, now this is just online. This does not include those listening on all of our great radio stations across pretty much the whole state of Florida, at least the best parts of Florida. We had over 1 million people tune in online to the program this month. I just found out this morning, right before I went on the air, over 1,200,000. You know, if we want to be more precise, and that's just awesome. And all of you that listen to this program, wherever you listen to us, thanks so much for tuning in. And make sure you tell all your friends. You know, the Steve Kane Show. We have been a word of mouth radio show forever. We don't do any marketing, no advertising or anything. And it's word of mouth, and the word of mouth seems to be pretty good about the show, so I appreciate that. And when I came in this morning, I'm setting up everything, and I got the notice over 1.2 million just online tuned in. You know, I even shaved this week. I shaved. You know, that many people watching, you got to shave. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Jessica. How you doing?
All right, Jessica.
I wanted to talk to you about your comment about Zelenskyy. I agree with you. He is the one that is pulling out of peace talks, and he's making a mockery of our president, and I don't think we should allow that to happen and continue to happen. I mean, after all the money that we have sent Ukraine, the least they could do or say was at least be thankful for all the money that apparently he said in an interview that I saw last week that he never received. That trillions of dollars sent to them by Biden is lost. According to him, he never received that money. Half of the money is lost.
Yeah. How convenient.
How convenient. And I agree that Levin, he should return retract his opinions about Ukraine and his opinions against our president. He doesn't know the full story. As long as I remember, Brian, Zelenskyy has never wanted to sit down and have peace talks with.
Well, you know, here's the thing. When this war began, Biden wouldn't talk to Putin. You know, and I've never known of a war situation where there were, you know, you're not dealing with some tiny little country like Iraq or something. You're dealing with a country that has a nuclear arsenal, that has spaceships too, Russia, okay? You know, when you're dealing with someone, there's not going to be any regime change or a collapse of Russia, you know? And to not have peace talks, there should have been peace talks from the first moment it happened. You know? Exactly.
He has denied it from the beginning. I remember in 2022 that during the UN meeting, he said no, that he wasn't going to sit down with Putin and talk to him about any peace talk. Although that Putin was, you know, available and offered to sit down and talk to him about.
And Putin, you know, and I'll tell you, there's two people that are very good friends with Putin that may surprise people. One of them is President Bush, GW, and President Clinton. They're both like buddies with Putin. And, you know, and I remember when they had the Olympics in China, the reason I remember this is because of the imagery. President Bush was buddying up, sitting next to Putin, and it was really hot. So they had their jackets off, and there was a big sweat spot on the back of their shirt. They're like best buds. Putin is not our enemy. He's not America's enemy. He's not. I mean, you know, Bill Clinton had a chance to. Remember, Putin told Tucker, Bill Clinton was going to let me in NATO, and the powers that be wouldn't let him. You know, they should have let him in NATO. None of them. We'd have Russia is a great friend. They have connections to a lot of people that are our enemy. North Korea, Iran, you know, and the reason that they're in with Iran and North Korea is because we pushed them away.
I think that anybody that considers themselves a Republican or a conservative or MAGA should retract of whatever their opinion is against our president. When you hear Trump say something, it's because he knows something is.
Well, if you remember when Romney was running for president, and he said in a speech, "Oh, Russia's the big enemy." The media laughed. "Oh, where'd he get his foreign policy? The 1980s." You know, and now all of a sudden they want us to think that Russia's our enemy. They're not our enemy. They're Ukraine's enemy. I'm not stupid, but they're not our enemy.
He said, no, our biggest enemy is China. They're buying our land. They're buying our gold. We should be afraid of China, not Russia. I mean, you know, that's how I feel. I feel that Levin, it's dangerous.
Well, you know, a thing with Levin. See, this is why, you know, Levin and, you know, Steve's the same way. Steve was big into Ukraine. He's changed, and so was, you know, Rich, a lot of people. But Mark Levin, they grew up during that Cold War period. And, you know, and I remember when I was a kid, I was scared to death of Russia. I just assumed, they all made us think that there was going to be a nuclear war. And Levin went to school when they used to do those fake nuclear bomb drills. Okay? You know, so they got all that in their mind.
They should come back and they should move into the, you know, to this time of year. And
well, if you look at all these people that want to prolong the war, how many of them have family in the fight? That's right. Steve's dad's long dead. Steve's son is an officer in the military. You know, and
Yeah, when you hear a president of a country say, "I don't want to sit down and have any peace talks with anybody," that's when you realize and you know that that person is not there for the sake of their people. It's for the sake of making money, and that's what Zelenskyy has said for the past 4.5 years.
That's right. All right, take care. Good. You made. I agree with everything you said. I can't disagree with a syllable. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB and Broward.
Hey, IB.
Tyler is a tank commander in the Army. Yeah, that's Steve's son. Elon Musk, before I talk about him, you guys need to remember that the 300, probably 40 to 50,000 kids disappeared. We're not finding dead bodies in America. Odessa is one of the biggest ports in Ukraine, and you might call it the Riviera of Ukraine. They snatch kids in different ways, and they ship them out to like Turkey and all these different places where they're getting raped 20 and 30 times a day. So we got to keep those kids in our minds and in our prayers. Now, CPAC last night was pretty good. We mentioned the vest. That was a pretty good observation there. And what I really liked from the commentator when he said, "What's it like inside your mind?" and then he's like, "It's like 1,000 miles an hour."
Well, that was Rob Schmidt, who's on Newsmax at night. He's very good.
It's like a storm. But you know what really got me? Elon Musk said that he's trying to like be good, and he was motivated by us, America, when he said
Elon was a little weird in the beginning. He seemed like he might have been smoking some weed or something at the beginning. Didn't he seem like he was a little high in the beginning? I saw him smoking weed with Joe Rogan, right? So I don't. Yeah, he did. He smoked weed with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan show. They did it on the air. It's a very famous picture. But, you know, he could just be high on life. But one of the things he said about the astronauts that are stranded, he said he could have rescued them a long time ago. They were supposed to be up there for a few days. But Biden wouldn't let him rescue the astronauts that got stranded up there because they didn't want anyone who's pro-Trump to look good.
You see how evil they are? They would like let people die just for their cause, their bad cause. But Elon's morality came from things based in America, like comic books and shows. That came out of his own mouth, and I was really surprised that his morality actually comes from the goodness in America. And maybe that's what brought him to America. So we are blessed to have...
I would like to have asked, I would have liked to, and I don't think Elon Musk would be upset with this question. Why so many kids? What's going on? Because I think Elon would like to talk about that. I think that he believes that he is of superior intelligence and abilities, which he is, and he wants to spread his DNA to as many people. He wants to have as many kids as possible. He may have like 80 kids by the time he dies. I'm serious.
If the Amish can have 12 wives or what have you based on their beliefs, why can't a man who's being attacked, so to speak, by many women because he says...
Listen, does anyone expect the richest man in the world to be faithful to one woman? I mean, come on. And he's, you know.
My point is he's still human. He's a man, and you have women coming at you left and right. And if you're technically not under the law of God married, then hey, why not?
Exactly. Now, all right, appreciate the call, IB. You know, if you're on hold, hang in there. You know, and this thing, I don't know if Elon was high or not, but in the beginning, did he not seem high? But here's the thing. If he was backstage smoking a Cheech and Chong sized joint, I don't care. I don't care. What he's doing is so important. I don't care if he smokes weed. You know, I mean, you know, if you had these people after you like they're after him, you'd probably be smoking weed too. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bob from Jupiter.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, the most important question of the day since it's Friday. How did that slug, Hannity, end up with that Ainsley Earhart? What's the story behind that?
I don't know. You can't explain women.
That loser, that guy, that self-important loser, other than he has, I guess, a lot of jack. I guess that's how
Who do you think is in charge of that relationship? Who's the boss?
Oh, he's the boss all the way. Little redneck guy.
Oh, really? You don't think she's in charge when they're alone? Please.
Well, maybe when they're alone. She's like a little simpleton. I guess he's got the big boss, so he gets whatever he wants. But I mean, come on.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Oh, come on, man. He won't shut up about himself. I can't watch. His show's unwatchable.
Okay.
Him and a bunch of Fox guys are just unwatchable. They're unwatchable personalities because they're in the story. They make themselves bigger than the story.
Yeah, that happens. Who are you talking about? Other than Hannity?
Jesse Waters. Who's that guy? The guy that's on the middle of the day. John Roberts. Oh, every story's got to be about him.
It sounds like you're taking the words I said on the air earlier this week and putting them through ChatGPT and regurgitating them. I mean, I was talking about John Roberts. Jesse Waters and John Roberts. Yeah, and I'm surprised anybody would even notice John Roberts. Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly.
I like Bill O'Reilly. I like Bill O'Reilly. I like Bill O'Reilly not just because he does great work, but when he was doing his tour, he called me personally to ask if he could come on the show. I was in shock. It was one of those calls I'm like Kennedy, make it about me. But I thought I was being pranked. It was one of those things where I got to call you back. You know, you ever do that? I don't know. Maybe you guys have never done that, but I've done that a couple times. I got to call you back to make sure it's you. 2 hours down, 1 to go. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. And, of course, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind. Oh, by the way, we found out they did have a lady pilot on that plane that flipped over. She was the co-pilot. There was a male pilot. And from what I understand, he tried to get promoted up to the big Delta, but had a problem with the flight training with Delta, and they busted him back down to the minor leagues with Endeavor. But we did have a very possible DEI co-pilot in there. We don't know who was at the controls, though, during the crash yet. All right, we'll take our break for the top. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, back after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Hurd and Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Friday morning, a high of 68 degrees, partly sunny and breezy. Tonight it's going to be a low of 66 degrees, mostly cloudy and windy. Saturday morning and throughout the day, a high of 70 degrees, partly sunny and breezy, then partly sunny. Saturday night, a low of 66 degrees, slight chance of showers, then mostly cloudy. Sunday, a high of 73 degrees, partly sunny, then a slight chance of showers. And then Sunday night, chance of showers with a low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Emergency vehicle still on the scene of an earlier vehicle fire. Northbound 95 at PGA Boulevard is blocking 3 right lanes, causing a backup starting at North Lake Boulevard. There's a crash on Military Trail at Donald Ross Road. Spot something on the roads? Call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm Traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. The Moneymaker Tour is back in the poker room now through the 25th with over $500,000 in guarantees, 30 trophy events, live streaming, and checkout tournaments for every type of poker player, including the Moneymaker main event with a $300,000 guarantee. Feel the love this month with super high hands every day, every 20 minutes, and a chance to win $10,000 in cash. For more information, go to our website at pbkennelclub.com.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. I want to show everybody I'm not bald like Tim Pool and hiding bald spots. You know, I've got all my hair. I have a bit of a headache this morning. But I don't think you could tell. I've had a headache all morning. I should have taken something before I left the house, but I thought it would go away, and I don't want to take any type of medication before I go on the air. I don't want to get. I'd rather have the headache than like a sour stomach while I'm on the air. You know what I mean?
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription.
We have a guest coming in the last segment. or in the last half hour at some point. I'm not exactly sure when.
They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now.
I'm not sure if it's the last segment or the next to the last segment. I'll find out when they get here.
Lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs.
Having the no, I woke up with a headache. I had a headache, you know, just. But having the headphones on my ears doesn't help. But you got to wear headphones when you're on the air. Usually, if I have a headache, the caffeine will have it go away.
Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445.
All right, the cap of wisdom is on.
Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with...
Alrighty, the third hour has begun. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Okay, so I was talking earlier in the first hour, Mark Levin just went off on Trump and what's going on with this peace process with Ukraine and Russia. And yesterday, the New York Post had a big story. I want to go through this, and I was saving this for Steve today, but Steve's not going to be here today. But they put out a perversion of a news article yesterday. They're in a panic that the war is ending. You know, there's no scenario where Russia is going to be defeated and there's going to be a regime change. Putin's been running Russia since like when? When did he, was it 2000? When did he first become the president or prime minister? He's gone through all these things. He's not going anywhere. Some of these things you got to accept. But they had this cover of the New York Post yesterday. Steve called me about this yesterday afternoon, and I've had a headache. I think this is why I got a headache, because he was like, "Yo, you got to see this article." And and he told me what it was, and we were arguing about it. I said, well, we'll talk about it on the air tomorrow, but he's not going to be joining us today. And it has Putin on the front page of the New York Post, and it says, "This is a dictator." And they have this guy named Douglas Murray, who I've never heard of before, and he wrote this. It's an opinion piece, but this echoes Mark Levin attacking Trump's comments about Putin and Zelenskyy. The headline is, "Mr. President," meaning President Trump, "Putin is the dictator, and 10 Ukraine-Russian war truths we ignore at our peril." Really? At our peril? And it's a very wordy article, but let's go through the truths. Truth number one, Vladimir Putin's, this article is a letter to Trump. Truth number one, Vladimir Putin started this war despite what President Trump said days ago. That is not true. Okay. This war, I understand the first military action was taken by Russia, but Zelenskyy and Biden were talking about Ukraine joining NATO. NATO is an alliance that was formed very specifically to oppose Russia. Russia used to have the Warsaw Pact. And most of the Warsaw Pact is in NATO now. Does the Warsaw Pact even exist in name only anymore? So, when you're saying, and he put his foot down and said they can't join NATO, and then Zelenskyy and Biden are talking about them joining NATO, on top of that Biden said he could take some of Ukraine. It's like Biden gave him the green light. So no, it is accurate to say that Zelenskyy and Biden started this war by those actions. And he gives, 3,000. This guy in the Post, he's what I call a man of a few thousand words. I'm not going to go through all of his explanations. Truth number two, Russia is fighting for conquest. And he goes on a long thing. Yeah, well, and not yes and no in part, but they're also fighting to not have another NATO country at their throat who wants to take them over. that old phrase, beware of entangling alliances, that goes back to the First World War. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to calls in a moment. Beware of entangling alliances that started from the First World War. You don't want Ukraine and NATO. They would start a war immediately after they were officially a part of NATO, and then they bring the whole NATO alliance into a war with Russia. That's crazy. Truth number 3. Ukraine is fighting for its independence. No, Ukraine's fighting because they want American tax dollars. Truth 4. Ukrainians are not Russians. Okay. Truth 5. Putin is a dictator. I thought they just had an election. What do they mean Putin's a dictator? They just had an election. Truth 6. Zelenskyy is not a dictator. His term of office is over, and he declared martial law. I don't want to hear what the Ukrainian constitution says. I don't care about that, okay? Our definition of what a dictator is makes him a dictator. Truth number 7. Russia is not a friend of the United States. Yes, they are. Truth number 8. Ukraine is a friend of the United States. Really? They just called our president a puppet for Putin, a liar, tore up a treaty agreement that he had made with President Trump, and we got their soldiers. We got one of their generals ripping Trump online, one of their soldiers ripping our flag off a uniform. Those are our friends? Truth number 9, Putin cannot be trusted. When has he ever done anything to show distrust from us? Truth 10, American aid to Ukraine is not wasted. Remember when that one Ukrainian general's daughter was renting yachts in Miami and making TikTok videos, music videos? With American tax dollars, that's not a waste. Bunch of warmongers over at Fox and the New York Post. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi. My name is Anna, and I'm calling from Green Acres.
Yes. Okay. What's on your mind?
I was born in Czechoslovakia, and I moved here 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. And I wanted to ask you, have you seen a movie called Ukraine on Fire? The original movie made by Oliver Stone?
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, to see it, because that movie was made in 2014.
Well, tell me about it.
It's actually the truth, what was going on in 2014 in Ukraine. And all the fires, all the protests, all the Nazis, how many Russian children were killed. And actually, if I tell you something, I remember my grandfather was killed in a concentration camp.
Oh, my.
Was telling me that Bandera, they were these Nazi soldiers, actually Ukrainians, in the east part of Ukraine, west part of Ukraine.
Mm.
And they were worse than Nazis.
Yeah.
So,
well, what's your, that's awful. I mean, yeah, I'll check out the movie. I haven't watched an Oliver Stone movie in a long time, but what's your opinion on the situation there today? Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I still have family in Czechia now, Czech Republic. And we do have many Ukrainians. They've been coming and work in Czech for many years now. And of course, Czech people, they are not happy. The alcoholism, children in houses where the parents would not take care of.
So you're saying the Ukrainian people are not decent people?
I'm not saying that all of them are not decent, but Ukraine was number one where families would have children and they would not take care of them and put them into these homes.
Oh, wow.
Grow up. They would say, even in Africa, they would take care better of their children than in Ukraine.
Mm.
So there's a documentary about selling dead bodies in Ukraine to a company which is based actually in Florida.
Well, I'll look into. I will most definitely look up the Oliver Stone movie. Now, you know, I'll ask you this though before we go, because we're up against a break. You're from, you know, you grew up, you know, you must have grown up under the Soviet Union for the most part, right? Okay, you know, this idea. Now, again, we're in different times now, but I'm of the opinion that Russia is not our enemy. Now, they may be your enemy in Czechoslovakia. They may be Ukraine's enemy, but I don't think they're an enemy of the United States, like they're being portrayed in the media in this country.
Actually, we hated them. When I was growing up, we hated Russia.
I'm sure you did. You were in the behind the Iron Curtain. Yeah.
I grew up in a small town, and maybe 10 kilometers from our town, there was a Russian base, 250,000 Russians.
Yeah.
They had schools there, they had shops there. They was, when I went to school, they was a colony of soldiers were moved from East Germany to Czech.
Yeah, but this isn't Czech. I'm talking about the United States, though. Yeah, I know the Soviets did terrible things over there, but they're not our enemy.
No. I'm talking on your side. My opinion is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Putin is not our enemy. No.
Well, that, you know, and that's it. You know, what your opinion means something because you grew up under Soviet, Russian occupation and tyranny, and even you're saying that they're not the enemy of the United States today. Well, listen, thank you for your call. You've added a lot to the dialogue.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah, and you know she's, you know, she lived it. She lived it. So, you know, who knows more, her or Caitlin Collins? What do you think? All right, let's, you know what? Let's take our break. Our number 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott, the DJ here at the True Oldies Channel. Smack dab in the middle of the Steve Kane Show with Brian. And a reminder that we're back to the rock and roll oldies at 10 a.m. this
A lot of Americans think these guys got a pass for a long time, and maybe even are still being protected right now. Where are we at with the Jeffrey Epstein list documents? And Kash made a lot of public statements about this.
I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but you know, President Trump has given a very strong directive.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Donna from Jupiter. I'm calling to share my great experience with Jupiter Joe. My husband and I started listening to you a few years ago, and that's when we learned about Jupiter Joe Thomas. We're seniors with no pension and collect Social Security. All our investments were in stocks and IRAs until we heard about Jupiter Joe. Speaking of having your money work for you, we got in touch with him, and he went above and beyond trying to locate all our diversifications. He answered all our questions clearly and returned every phone call. He recommended an annuity that enabled us to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just want to tell everyone, if you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call Joe Thomas. It's no cost to you. He is so professional, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you can put total confidence in him. My husband and I can't say enough good things about Jupiter Joe and his staff.
I want to thank you for your kind words for Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you want to call Joe Thomas, I'm going to give you his number. It's a no no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online at jupiterjoe.com.
Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA.
All right, welcome back, one and all. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You probably shouldn't even mention this, but I will. You guys probably wouldn't even know if I'm a little off today because when I woke up this morning, a good friend of my wife and I passed away yesterday, and there's a couple we're good friends with, and the wife passed away, and it's been on my mind a little bit, and I'm getting text messages and emails during the show from people about it, and I know that know them and know me, and I know. I got the bad news, and it's, but try not to give me too much bad news while I'm on the air. It's, it's a little much. But, all right, anyway, let's go back to the phones. 1-888-465-2631. I haven't even called them yet because I found when I woke up, so I'm gonna call my friend, the husband. I don't want to say who, for some people that know me may not know yet, but I'm gonna call him later this morning. But it's just a sad thing. It's tough, when someone close to you that you're friends with, my wife's very good friends with, passes away, and then you're on the air, and then I have this ability when I'm doing the show, I can pretty much block everything out that's going on that's terrible in my life during the 3 hours we're on the air. But people like to text me and DM me and stuff, and I've been hearing from people all morning about this, and and it makes it a little more difficult to get through the show when you get that kind of messaging. So I try to tell people, if there's bad news, wait till 9:01. Don't tell me during the 3 hours of the show. All right. Anyway, you're on the, but I knew about this beforehand, but I just, I know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're
Kim.
Yes, Kim. Uh-huh.
I was going to tell you, I was watching another show last night. I don't know if I can mention the name of it, but they had this woman on there from South Fulton County in Georgia, and she's wanting to get rid of the because he's corrupt and spending all kind of money in it.
Yeah.
Going to Ghana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when the Judge Joe said, well, Fannie was going down, she said, oh, I pray not. She was our first black woman DA and all this stuff, And so that at the end of the show, they said, well, thank you, Miss Willis, for coming on. And I'm just wondering if...
I doubt it was Fannie. No, I doubt it. Oh, no, you mean a relation to Fannie Willis? I doubt it. That's a popular name. That's a common name. The thing about Fannie Willis, she is... her dad's a mob attorney, right? He was an attorney for the Black Panthers, and the real Black Panthers, not these guys that run around today. And those Black Panthers were hitmen and cop killers, okay? And they were very bad people. And so she's grown up in this crime family, and she's totally indoctrinated in it. Fannie Willis doesn't even know the difference between right and wrong. And she's a spoiled girl who's never had anybody oppose her or tell her no, because in Fulton County, Daddy's got a lot of pull, he's a big power guy there. And when he went and testified in that hearing, he was so arrogant. He went through his resume. I've never seen a guy so arrogant in a courtroom as Fannie Willis's dad. Her mind is gone. She's a brainwashed child. I mean, she doesn't even know how to put a dress. Remember, she wore her dress backwards on television? She had the dress on backwards. I mean, she's an idiot on top of it.
Well, I just thought it kind of funny that the woman wants to get rid of the mayor.
Well, the thing, probably because she didn't get any money. This is the thing, okay? Fannie Willis, one of the things she charged Trump with was this RICO nonsense, a criminal conspiracy. She was involved with a criminal conspiracy across state lines with the U.S. Justice Department, the White House, and this involves Jack Smith. It involves Letitia in New York. She was involved in a multi-state, multi-government criminal conspiracy across multiple agencies to try to stop Trump from becoming president again. And Fani Willis and all these other lawfare people that are involved in that case have committed so many crimes, and I'm expecting some arrest, okay? We've got Pam Bondi and we've got Kash Patel. We're never going to have an attorney general and an FBI director like these two. I'm expecting high-profile arrest of some of these people that are household names, not some underling whose name we don't know. I'm talking about Fani Willis level names. Need to be arrested and charged with these criminal conspiracies. All right, hey, listen, I appreciate your call, though. I went to the Drudge Report during the break. If you're on hold, hang in there. This is the headline in the Drudge Report. It's a picture of a depressed-looking Zelenskyy. Remember, Drudge Report, you know, liberal. And here's the headline: Will Zelenskyy flee? And then it's linked to an article in The Sun. Get the Zell, Z-E-L, get the Zell out. I guess they're like the British version of the New York Post. Zelenskyy's best bet is to flee Ukraine immediately, Trump insiders warn, as Putin days away from declaring victory. So when the liberals are talking, remember I told you yesterday we're going to wake up one day and find out that he's fled somewhere. Where would he flee to? Now the Drudge Report lead story, will Zelenskyy flee? So that something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. Something's big. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ohio, Milo.
Yes.
We
got a bad cell connection. But we're up against the break. I can hear you now. Yeah, let's hope it's worth it. Yes.
I disagree with. I don't think Zelenskyy's going anywhere. From what the reports have been saying is that he got a new offer from Trump. So I think he's.
Yeah. What report is that? I'll look it up right now. Come on. Give me a break. You can't confirm. You just made that up. Where you heard it from? Who? Where?
One of my sources.
What kind of sources do you have?
That are very much pro-Ukrainian.
What does that mean, pro-Ukrainian? That could be some guy you know, an Uber driver?
First of all, you have to understand that Donald Trump is not against Ukraine. He's not against.
No. I know all that stuff. You have sources. Like, what kind of connection does your source have? Is he one of your gamer friends? Is he one of your Twitch followers or something on your gaming stream?
I don't do social media.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple people on YouTube we're talking about.
A couple people on YouTube. So now, so now you were watching. Okay, so you don't have any contacts. You saw someone on YouTube say it. Well, you were implying when you say my sources, you're implying that you're like you got intel sources or media sources.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm just saying this is what I'm hearing.
Okay, so yeah.
He's going to get a second offer. It's called business. We all know that Trump wants Ukraine in control by the U.S. legitimately.
Yes, this is true.
Or
so your source is you saw somebody on YouTube say it. That's your source.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now that's a little more accurate. Then why are you trying to act? No, you were trying to act like you're some connected guy. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. I appreciate the call. We're up against the bottom of the hour. But am I being too hard on that guy, or was he my sources and he was being a little stealthy? Oh my goodness. All right. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Oh my goodness. Our number 1-888-465-2631. It is open phones on Friday, open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
You made it sound like he is people.
Oh my
I
gosh.
have my sources.
Yeah, my sources
I can't let you know my sources. I have my sources. That's saying, oh, I know someone higher up. I just can't let you know.
And then Sunday night, chance of showers, the low of 68 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long.
And now, a Trolleys traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. An earlier vehicle.
Oh, hey, Doc, how you doing?
Hey, I got here super early, so...
Okay, that's fine.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
You have a restroom?
Yes, so...
Cool.
You have to drop it. It's down the hall, so you want to leave your stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to take my coffee in the restroom.
Yeah, and there's a code. There's a code to get in. You can't just. We have a private VIP men's room, an executive men's room.
Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner shows like Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin, March 14th.
Oh my gosh, I've got a splitting headache.
March 20th, the Pure Zeppelin Experience.
I mean, I could have played with that guy and made it sound like some connected guy was calling me, but I can't do that.
TV and sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets
I can't do that.
bbkennelclub.com.
This is your time. Your time to really focus on wellness. Wellness of mind, body, and spirit.
Oh my goodness. You don't need the force, you just got a BS detector, you know? I mean, give me a freaking break.
Merging Eastern principles with Western luxury. With a full-story wellness spa is like nothing you've experienced before. Hydrothermal water therapy, hot and cold pools, steam sauna room, inhalation salt therapy chamber, and Arctic chill fountains, all designed to de-stress and relax. Located on picture-perfect beaches and impressive facilities of Arid Ocean Resort. Face and body treatments, including Reiki experiences, reflexology and massage. Explore all available offers at aridocean.com. That's AMRIT.
Oh my goodness.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984, with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses, not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and
This is unbelievable.
will never sell you a roof you
Unbelievable.
Laporta Roofing
What I'm reading here. I'll get to this when we get back.
all of its employees, not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. Or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing.
So we're going to start after the next break, which is... What time is it? I've lost track of the time. Which is in like 10 minutes,
That's
10,
fine.
12
So where do
minutes.
you want me to hang out? So I'm
Anywhere
not-
you want. You can hang out there. You can do whatever you
Man,
want.
You just tell me. I don't want to be in
Okay.
your way.
No, you're not in my way.
I just don't want to sit in my car.
No, you're not in my way. Not at all. And it's Dr. Zuckerman. I'm going to tell you guys something I've been keeping a secret from you guys. I've been keeping a secret from you guys for a couple of weeks. I'll tell you, learn about it in a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. After the next break, I've been keeping a secret from you guys for a few weeks. that I'm going to reveal in a few minutes. It's an important secret. For me, it is. It's not the kind of thing I would normally talk about on the air, but we're going to do it. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. It is open phones on Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Open Mega Mike Friday. Well, let me take some calls. I've been yapping for a while. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, Alabama. What's up?
I was just wanting to put in a note that the Doge team is hyper-responsive to anybody that might have any knowledge on any type of fraud, waste, or abuse. It was 2 days ago I posted directly to them about all the credit cards accounts that are opened up by the military members, because I did 12 years in the Army, and they responded within an hour and a half, and then they posted on Doge talking about
Wow.
4 million accounts.
I saw that story. Oh, okay. So maybe you're responsible for that.
Who knows? But it's a great day in America, and it's going to be the great next 4 years, and you all
Yes.
as continue being successful, all right?
Well, okay. I agree with everything you said there. That's good. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Okay, open phone.
Oh, here we go.
Curious. I'm just curious, when you hit the economy and you fired the people from the post office, you stopped cancer research, you stopped Alzheimer's research, you stopped...
Wait. What was that? What was that? What did you say? What kind of research? Cancer? And then what was the other one?
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's? What is Alzheimer's? What, can you tell me what Alzheimer's is?
Alzheimer's is when somebody forgets when they get older.
It is called Alzheimer's. Okay, I've never heard of Alzheimer's before. I've heard of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's.
Maybe I said it wrong.
Yeah. Sure.
Then they fired the people from the IRS right at tax season. They fired the people from HUD. They had a bunch of town halls the other night where all those Republican MAGA people came out, and they're mad because they're losing their jobs. And I'm trying to figure out what good is it to fire all these people from their jobs. How does that make the economy better when all these people are losing their jobs?
So how many people about how many have been fired so far? Like 10,000, 100,000?
If you want to say that number.
Okay, so well, this is what I have that Alzheimer's disease you were talking about. Okay, so I'm a little slow, but I've got you here. No, but I've got you, and you've got wisdom. So all these hundreds of thousands of federal workers have been fired. What is one thing, one service from the government we're not getting because of it?
Do you know that people with cancer are looking for people that's supposed to be researching it? You think that...
Wait a minute. You mean the cancer surgery, the cancer treatments and stuff? What is a service that I or you will not receive today or be able to get because of all these people being fired?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
That was the fact that...
No, you can't give me an example.
I can.
Then tell me.
People from all parts of everything is being fired.
You started with the post office. My mailbox was filled with junk mail yesterday. So that's still coming.
I guess you didn't see last night that it was breaking news that he fired a bunch of people from the post office.
Who needs the post office? When's the last time you got something that wasn't junk in the mailbox?
I get mail all the time.
What do you get? Like what? What kind of mail? Like what kind of mail?
Bills.
Well, you're the last man in America who gets his actual physical bills mailed? Yeah.
I pay them online, but I get them in the mail.
Oh, you pay them online, but you get them in the mail. But you're still getting the mail.
Let me ask you a question. You said that guy was lying about the guy who lost his job. You didn't see none of the town halls last night.
I'm not talking about, people are losing their jobs for the federal government. Yeah. But here's the thing. When that many, well, I guess they'll have to get a job in the private. If I'm at the post office, I'd go apply at FedEx or UPS right quick because I've got experience in that. That's what I would do.
And you think there's going to be a lot of jobs just like that when everybody's being fired? You think it works like that?
I think that we have too many people working for the government, or we would start to feel the impact of these people not being able to provide government services.
Oh, did you see that Trump's approval has been tanked?
Oh, tanked. Yes, I know. All right. Hey, Jay. Thanks for the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm from Boston.
Hey, Boston.
Hey, I just had a quick question. I wanted to know your input on, so like Boston's clearly a blue city run by Democrats.
Yeah.
What's going on? But one thing that I was kind of surprised at President Trump for doing was when he got up on stage and said that we were gonna help Gaza rebuild and take over Gaza. I think we have a lot of problems in our own country that we need to figure out before we start rebuilding the Middle East.
No. He said what President Trump said about it's not going to be the big dig that you guys had. Okay, what Trump said is he said Ukraine outside of Kiev, the other cities are demolished. It's worse than Gaza, so it's going to be rebuilt. And since we spent all the money, right? And he wants American companies to get the rebuilding jobs, not the Europeans. So if we don't go in and get the jobs that Ukraine will pay us to do, Europe will get it. That's what he said. We're not talking about welfare, charity. They're not getting any more money.
I mean the Riviera of the Middle East that he was talking
about. Oh, Gaza? Well, because... Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Yes, make it an American protectorate. Yes.
But so we're going to spend all that money to rebuild them?
No. He's going to take that territory and make it U.S. territory. And you know how much money that is made off of casinos and hotels? Boatloads of money. It's a for-profit enterprise. Donald Trump knows all about hotels and resorts. He's the perfect person. It'll be a for-profit place.
Why can't we go down to the South where there's not a ton of industry and a lot of it is the
Well, because what he's doing over there, what he's doing over there is a couple things. One, he's taken the Palestinians out so that the killing of Jews can stop. Okay, which is I'm assuming you're in favor of that, right? Spending money in America. Oh, well, that's going to be part of America. Gaza is going to be a part of America, like Puerto Rico or Guam. It's going to be a U.S. territory.
State.
It's going to what?
It's going to be like a state.
No, it's going to be a territory, like Puerto Rico. Yeah. And we're not going to have wars over there anymore. And we're going to have a U.S. presence over there to spread our influence. And it's for profit.
All right. Well, thank you for your input.
All right, thank you. All right, I do too. Your open phones, You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Oh, good morning. I just want to make sure it was me.
It's you.
Oh, it's Joan from Tampa Bay. Hi.
All right, Joan. I'm up against a break, so just jump to it.
Will the Never Trumpers, if we do get a rebate from Doge, are they going to not accept the money and give it back to the government?
No, of course, everyone's going to cash the check. Everyone.
You got that right.
Heck yeah. I know I'm going to. I might buy a new car. I'm telling you, I might buy a new car. I want a truck. I wanted a truck for a long time. I might buy a car.
So how can they not like him?
Yeah, I know. I asked myself that too. All right, appreciate the call. All right, good call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joanne from Pamela.
Oh boy. Yes, Joanne. A little hot there. Yes.
Yeah, I was just listening to that person calling about the post office. I have worked for the post office for 39 years. I'm a mail lady,
in the plantation area.
Mm-hmm.
The only postal worker that lost their job was the Postmaster General, and he resigned, which was Louis LaJoy.
Yeah.
And no other postal workers have. Now, I don't know what Mr. President Trump is planning. He's going to privatize it.
Well, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. You know what I'd like to see him do is stop the junk mail. You know how much money and how we could reduce the size if they just didn't have the junk mail that I just throw. You know, I check my mail on trash days. I check the mail and it all goes in the garbage. I got to run, but thank you for the info. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard
All right, and it's time for the final gold and precious metals report of the week. On the line from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca is William Youngerman. William Youngerman, good morning. Oh, good. I'll be better when I hear where we're standing today, because I hear some smile in your voice.
Very good. The markets yesterday saw a trading range of $2,922 on the low, all the way up to $2,950 on the high for gold. Gold closed up $6 at $2,939 the ounce. Silver closed up 25 cents at $32.90, but we did get up to $33.40 on the high. Platinum gained $6 at $9.76, and palladium was up $14 at $9.66. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $29.14 on the low and high of $29.49. The little bit of profit taking this morning as we see these new highs being hit almost every other day. And that puts gold right now at $2,929 the ounce, down $10.90. The silver down 5 cents at $32.85 the ounce. Platinum down $4 at $9.72, and palladium $4 at $9.62. So pull back on some profit taking, which we've seen all the way along this very big move that we've seen over the last couple of years for gold. Buy these small dips because we haven't seen any major corrections in the precious metals for quite some time.
Yeah, and you want to get in as soon as you get. Now, are there any of the, when it comes to the gold, is there anything in particular that you're recommending right now, or is everything a good buy?
Brews are an excellent buy again from Australia's beautiful 1 ounce pure gold coins encapsulated. They are one of our biggest products, and they're very low premiums right now, so you can take advantage of those. And of course, we have all the other products.
Absolutely. Well, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can give him a call toll free. Again, he opens up at 10 o'clock, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010, and online at WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday. All right, we're back. And if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about, of course, Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. It is Friday. If you're starting the week, if you're in pain, come on, go see Dr. Appleton. If you can't do it today because you're busy with work, go in tomorrow. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome with Dr. Appleton, even on Saturdays, okay? His laser wave pain treatment works, guys. It works. He's rid me of pain 7 times. And let me tell you, the pains he's rid me of have been some of the worst pains I've experienced in my life. And they're gone, and they haven't returned, including my knee pain, which was the first thing he rid me of over 2.5 years ago. The laser wave pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. And, of course, not only are appointments not necessary, it's 100% painless. There's no shots, no injections, no drugs. Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Now, I've been keeping a bit of a secret from you guys the last few weeks, and I'm going to reveal it today. And this is not something I normally would talk about on the air, but I'm going to today. And in studio, we have Dr. Adam Zuckerman. He's with Coastal Weight Loss. And I went on a diet 3 weeks ago. I met with Dr. Zuckerman. And in the last, well, just about a month, I have lost, and this is crazy to me because Dr. Zuckerman, you said it was not going to be any problem. I thought there's no way, but in less than a month, I've lost 20 pounds.
That's amazing.
And 20 pounds, and I tell you, my belt I'm wearing, I wasn't, before I went and saw you, I wasn't wearing belts because I didn't have to. My pants were just hanging on perfectly. And not only am I wearing a belt again, but I've had to put a hole in this belt myself, and it's still loose. So
it's a great problem.
Yeah, so in a few more weeks, I'm going to be, before our cruise, I'm going to be buying some new pants and some new belts because I'm going to need them. But I want to welcome you to the program. Dr. Adam Zuckerman, he's with Coastal Weight Loss, and I'm going to give you the information in a minute. And when we met a few weeks ago, I told you I wanted to lose 25 pounds. So I'm about 4 pounds away from my goal, and I told you I wanted to lose it before we go on our cruise, which is March 30th, right? And we're very far away from that. I'm only 4 months away, and I wanted to talk to you today because I've never been on a diet before, okay? This is the first time in my entire life I've been on a diet. I've lost all this weight, and I've done 0 exercise. So what's going on here? Why are the pounds just like melting off of my body?
Well, the whole goal of our program, we reset your metabolism. We get you back to burning fat for fuel supply the way the body's supposed to run.
Yeah, and one thing about this that is, well, there's a lot about it that's amazing, but this is a really cool thing. I don't usually eat in the mornings before I go on the air because when I eat before I go on the air, it makes me tired on the air. So I usually eat when I get off the air. And I'm always griping. You guys have probably heard me say this. I'm starving. I'm starving. Since I started this diet, I'm not even hungry. And I was expecting to be starving constantly. And my appetite's normal, but I'm not like hungry.
Yeah, when people's bodies get used to burning sugar for fuel, people get cravings, they go on binges. When you reset your metabolism, you burn fat for fuel. It's nice, steady energy throughout the day, and a lot of the cravings go away, and you actually don't need to eat as much.
Yeah, and it's not only that, because listen, I don't eat well at all, okay, typically, okay? I love Coke, I love Pepsi. I have 2 cats. One of them's, that's just true, one cat's name is Pepsi, the other one's name is Coca-Cola, okay? And I love Hershey chocolate bars. I love ice cream. I've never been someone that's had like a weight issue. Like, I'm not like a morbidly obese person, but everybody always wants to lose a little weight. And I'm over 50 now. And this I was telling my wife the other day, okay? The shirt I'm wearing, okay? I didn't, last time I wore this shirt, it was like wearing a girdle. It was tight. It was actually tight like a girdle. And now it's fits like it's supposed to fit.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, so this is what I want to ask you, because while I've not been on a diet before, I think like a lot of guys, you get to be my age, you want to lose, you get the belly. And I've tried to lose some belly weight, but and the weight, the 20 pounds I've lost, 21 now, it's mostly come right off of my stomach. Without any exercise. Why is that?
Well, research shows about 85 to 90% of weight loss comes from the food choices that you make. 10 to 15% is exercise. So one of the biggest misconceptions is you need to exercise and drip with sweat every single day. On the contrary, it's the food choices that you make. As far as isolating the belly fat, that's what we do. Most programs out there, unfortunately, when people lose weight, they're actually losing lean muscle mass. Okay,
yeah.
So with our program, what really makes us different is that we really focus on fat metabolism, resetting your metabolism. You're burning the correct type of weight in all the right places.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed with this is I've got a ton more energy. And that's something that just kind of happened natural. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but I've noticed, I get up really early in the morning. So what's been happening to me before I lost these 21 pounds, which I can't believe. When I think about, I don't know how other people visualize it, but this is how I visualize it. If I went to the grocery store, how many packs of hamburger would that be? That's kind of how I've been measuring, and I'm like 21 pounds. That's like, I don't know, I have like 4 or 5 packs of hamburger. One friend of mine does it by sticks of butter. I don't even want to know how many sticks of butter that is. But I've got a lot more energy, and that midday crash that I used to get, I get off the air, and around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm like, but I don't have that midday crash. I'm going all day long now.
Yeah, a lot of people report what you just said. Fat metabolism, the most efficient fuel source in the human body. When our bodies get used to burning sugar for fuel, when we're really had those ratios off, how can people tell about that, ratios being off? Their blood work changes, their A1Cs are going up, they become insulin resistant, if you ever heard that term.
Absolutely.
Before. So people go through surges, they're burning sugar for fuel. When you start burning the fat, it really is a consistent, efficient fuel source in the human body.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to talk, and you can tell the audience about this too. When I first went in to meet you, what I was expecting I was a little nervous about it because, like I said, I've never been on a diet before other than, okay, I'm not going to have any sugar this week or I won't have that candy bar or whatever. But I was expecting to come in and walk out with like a box of all this food with these little tiny portions that doesn't really taste that good. But that's not the case at all.
No, absolutely not. I always say to clients that if you have to rely on buying somebody's prepackaged food for the rest of your life, you're going to fail. It's not realistic. Plus, there's a lot of preservatives and things that you don't want to ingest in those foods. So the way that the human body is actually created, if you want to burn fat as an energy supply, you actually need to eat real food.
Yeah. So what I decided, I'm upping my weight loss goal because 25. I met with you and you said, well, how much weight do you want to lose? And I said 25 pounds. Okay. And you said, no problem, Brian. You'll have that off by March 3rd. So I'm pretty much there now. So I think I might up it to 30.
Well, yeah. I mean, we go with the flow. Sometimes people start off what they think is realistic. Of course, we always go based upon the BMI chart of what ideal is. We'll see what your goals are when we have a consultation, an in-depth consultation. But yeah, oftentimes people will adjust as they go. Some people think that they want to lose 50 pounds, they get to 40 and they're happy. And some people think that they want to lose 25 and they realize, holy cow, this is easier than I thought. I'm going to go to 40 now because most people misjudge what they're capable of. So, yeah, and it's so easy to do. And guys, I got to tell you, I am always complaining about how hungry I am in the morning. Not only do I not have hunger, I thought that I was going to have cravings for all these things. So when I reach my goal, whatever that is, how am I going to keep it off? What's going to happen then? Well, that's the great part of our program. And I'm not saying this just because it's our program, but it is a great part. After we help you lose your desired weight, we reboot your metabolism, we increase your BMR, which is called your basal metabolic rate. The last phase of our program, we work with every single client on how to keep the weight off by reintroducing the foods that they enjoy eating, but we do it in moderation so you don't gain all of your weight back. Now, do most people, because when I say I've done no exercise, the only steps I do are from the car to the radio studio. That's it, and back. That's it. Or from my front door to my car. I'm not walking. I'm not going to the gym. I'm doing nothing. Is that true with most people, or are most people exercising? Most people don't need to exercise to lose weight. So many people are busy nowadays. Of course, if you exercise, it'll assist the process. Doing some light walking, some light weight training, that can assist the process, but it really isn't required. Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is the thing. I'm on this diet. I'm eating store-bought things I like. My wife's not. And my wife is buying all the stuff that I would normally be eating, right? The Coke, the Pepsi, the candy bars, the potato chips and all that stuff. And even with all that in the house, I haven't had one craving to open up a can of Coke. Yeah, and there's several reasons for that. Number one, you're working very hard. Once you start to see the results, you don't want to sit here and cheat and go off on a tangent. You want to stick to the course. And once that kicks in, a lot of times people have the insecurity that I'm going to want to run to get the chocolate and the cookies. But once you start seeing your hard work pay off, you don't want to eat that way. Yeah. Now, we're almost out of time, so a couple things I want to get in quick, and I'm going to give you Dr. Zuckerman's number, guys, and you want to call him, and if you have any questions about this diet, you guys know how to call me. You can call me on the air. You can send me a DM. I'll DM you back, and it's amazing. And I've been keeping it from you because I wanted to wait until I got close to my final goal, but
Not okay. Yes, and before I told you guys, but I wanna just point out, and we only have about 30 seconds for this, Doc. I'm not taking any pills. I'm not taking any prescription medication or any of that stuff that people might think I'm taking with this dramatic weight loss I've had.
Absolutely not. We're all natural. So we are all about modifying your lifestyle so that you can lose the weight appropriately, burn fat. We teach you how to keep it off. The only product that we do use is protein, all natural amino acid protein. So we are safe, 100% safe for everyone. It doesn't matter what health condition someone has, what medications they're taking. The reason why people seek us out is because we are 100% safe.
Yeah, so listen, guys, give Dr. Zuckerman a call. He's with Coastal Weight Loss, and here is his number. It's 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. That's coastalweightlossecret.com. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to call me on the air or DM me on your socials. I will get back to you. Because it's been so easy to lose all this weight, I want to tell you guys about it. All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back Monday morning at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening, of course, to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Those of you on hold, hang in there. If you hang on, you'll be first in line Monday morning at 6. All right, take care. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Coastal Weight Loss is in California.
Yeah, so you have to say
you
secret.
gotta say secret. Or
Coastal
they're gonna
Weight
go
Loss
on the web.
Secret.
They're gonna go on. That's what I was pointing out to you.
Oh,
they
okay.
will go to a woman in
Okay.
California's website and give her all the business.